one, two. Check one, two. Check one, two. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We are live. We're live. We're live. We're live. Check one, two. All right, let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Time Mind is in the building. What's up, Time Mind? Welcome in to the stream. Welcome in to the stream. I hope you're doing amazing. Christian's in the building. Y'all, welcome in. Thanks for joining the stream today. Appreciate y'all tapping in. Nando's in the building. What's up, Nando? Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. Unjustice, appreciate you tapping in. Welcome in. Nico, appreciate you being here. If y'all are coming in on TikTok, do me a huge favor. Let me know where you're joining from. If you make music, let me know the kind of music that you make. And we'll dive into a couple hours of that music here in just a minute. Probably about two to 3 hours. Just a handful of songs today. But thank y'all so much for joining. Appreciate y'all being here. Welcome in. Run the World's in the building. Gain Debts. Appreciate you being here. Josue's in the building. Welcome in. Mac, appreciate you being here. Welcome into the stream, y'all. Appreciate y'all joining. If y'all are over on TikTok as well, do me a huge favor. Make sure you're tapping the screen, share out the live with a few people. It does really help out the live stream quite a bit. Don't forget to send your heart me for the day. And we'll get rolling here with some music in just a minute. Not Romeo's in the building. What's up, Not Romeo? Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. Dynamic Vision is in the building. Romeo, hope you're doing amazing. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. How you feeling today? How you feeling? How you feeling? We are just hopping on, y'all. We're just getting things flowing here, just getting things moving. Lee's in the building. What's up, Lee? Welcome in. Let me see. Let me double check a few things really quick. B-Lex is in the building. What's up, B-Lex? Welcome in. Welcome in and welcome back. Tater's in the building. What's up, Tater? Welcome in. Absolutely. Any genre, any style, any level of preparedness. I'll let everybody know the structure of the live stream here in just a couple minutes. Some of y'all have been here before, obviously. We'll get things rolling here in just a moment as I get things worked out over here on my end. The Weekend in the building. What's up, Weekend? But yeah, any genre, any style, any level of preparedness. Steven's in the building. Elias, welcome in. Good to see you again. Appreciate you tapping in. There's the up to 2 minute play that we do. And then, of course, there's the consultation side, which I'll explain here in just a moment. Obviously, completely up to you. Completely up to you, kind of the lane that you go in. And I will, like I said, I'll explain all of that here in just a moment. I'm just getting the different platforms refreshed and moving here. So just give me one moment to catch up. Steven, good to see you. I hope you're doing fantastic. Yeah, we already got submissions coming in. And I haven't even hopped on for a couple minutes here. Steven, thanks for tapping in. I appreciate you so much. What was your review of my last beat? I don't think we got to your, I don't think we heard your last one. Let me double check a few things here. All right, so like Elias, let's go. Not Romeo. Josue, I got you. Let's go. Dropped a new song last night. What kind of music do you make, Steven? That's amazing. And you also let me know if y'all are coming in for the first time, where you're joining from. If you make music, what kind of music do you make? So on and so on. There's Josue. Appreciate you. Country. Let's go. We actually heard. We had a live stream yesterday. It was a shorter one for maybe 2.5 hours or something like that. But we did hear a couple really cool country artists yesterday that came in on the consultation side that we were doing. Okay, let me update a few things here, and then we'll get rolling. Is it Ruchi? Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Or Ruki, please let me know. I want to make sure I get it correctly. All right, I want to make sure that I get the name correct. Let me refresh over here. Let me just make sure we're on 3 different platforms right now. And so I'm just making sure I've got everything up and running and everything refreshed. And then we'll be ready to go. Josue's on live stream too. Let's go. Double duty. Can I play with you in Lave piano? I'm not sure what that is. Not Romeo finally got it. What'd you get? What'd you end up going with, Not Romeo? Thank you so much for tapping in, man. As good as you. Ruchi. Okay, I want to make sure that I get it right. Thank you so much for tapping in. Okay, give me like 90 seconds, y'all. Give me like 90 seconds. I'm just refreshing a couple things. We're gonna get some things rolling here. Everything is at the link in my bio. I'll explain the 2 different lanes because there are 2 different lanes that do very dramatically different things as far as what y'all are submitting for. So I do want to make sure that I'm clear, and I'll give us everything we need. I'll give us everything we need as far as the details on what those different lanes are and what they're doing. I got to make sure I keep this card open because I am going to probably order some stuff here in a minute, which is going to be very exciting. Very, very excited. More synths on the way, more gear on the way. Very exciting. I cannot wait to get some of this stuff in here. So let's go. Okay, 2 seconds. Refresh over here and make sure I've got everything in order. And then I will walk y'all through kind of the details of what we do here at Track Talk. You can't play, like, you can't hop on the stream to play if that's what you're talking about. I want to make sure that I know exactly what you're referencing. Kite MPK for now on a budget. No, I mean, those are perfectly fine, man. Perfectly fine. I love that. I love that. I love that. You know, you gotta start where you can. You gotta do. I mean, my first control. I mean, I had an old M Audio controller. I've had an MPK before. I've had, you know, multiple Arturias. I've had, you know, Alesis. I've had a Nectar, a couple different Nectars as well. I've had a bunch of different things. And for me, it's you just got to do what's the right tool for the job that you can afford, that isn't going to hurt you to get. And over different parts of my life, I've had different key counts. I've had different weights of keys. I've had, you know, obviously different budgets depending on what I was getting and stuff like that. But I mean, those Akai's it's like the best selling, you know, MIDI controller for a reason. It's small, it's cheap, it does what it's supposed to do. You can do some pretty simple MIDI mapping on that as well, which can be really nice. Okay, let me double check a few things here. Mariah's in the building. What's up, Mariah? Yeah, actually, there's a whole submission process at my link. Give me 2 seconds. And all right, we're ready to go. We're ready to go. Miles is in the building. What's up, Miles? Welcome in. Appreciate y'all being here. We are just about to dive into the music, but let me kind of explain. Rico's in the building. Rico, welcome in over on the Red app. I appreciate you tapping in over there. All right, we're about to dive into some music here. We're about to kick off with our first couple songs as we get rolling here. I'm going to be on for, let's say, probably 2.5 hours today. It's a little bit shorter. It's not going to be a very, very long stream today. The same as yesterday was a little bit shorter. So I'm going to get a handful of songs in today. I've had far too many projects the last couple of days. I was hoping to finish up a little bit sooner, but it's not the way that the cards are played today. But anyways, for those of you who are curious, we have 2 different lanes that you can submit into. One is a free line. That free line is up to 2 minutes of your song with a quick note at the end. That's it. So free line over there. We already have a bunch of people submitting over there. That is, again, up to 2. We'll play up to 2 minutes of your song and give you a quick note at the end of maybe something structurally that we're hearing in the build out of that song. The other lane, the other side of that is the consultation side. Those are the paid submissions. That's the consultation side. Those are 20 to 30 minute multiple listen, deep dive consultations on the structure of your music. Those are long, they're detailed, they're nuanced. We're going to dive into your mix and master, production elements, sound design choices, lyric and song formatting. We're going to get into the details and the nuances of what you're doing both creatively and practically within the structure of your music. Those are not quick reviews. There's no trash or pass, there's no ratings, there's no polls. I'm not here to trash you, not here to roast you, not here to tear you down. I'm not here to hype you up. I'm not here to get you exposure. If the algorithm kicks on and a bunch of people hear your stuff, great. But that's not my priority. It's not the reason why I do what I do here in the structure of the stream, especially on the consultation side. For those of you who don't know, my name is Torvik. I'm a full-time audio engineer, producer, and session musician. That is what I do for a living. I've done that for the last 14 plus years. I'm also a classically trained pianist, so a lot of the structure and the perspective of the live is from that perspective, to offer as much like actionable feedback and specific tools as we have the capacity to do. For anybody that would like to submit your music for either that free line for the up to 2 minute play and then the note at the end, or the paid side, which is the consultations, the 20 to 30 minute breakdown of your music multiple times through your song. If you want to send on that side, everything is at the link in my bio. That's where you'll see both of those lines, both of those tiers right there. That's also where you can see the queue. If you click the tab that says see the queue, then you'll see that side as well. And that'll get you kind of, where you need to go as far as seeing where you're at in the line, deciding if you want to go faster and stuff like that. Sent you a message. Could you check it when you get the, yeah, sounds good, Maya. Which platform? Absolutely. Yeah. 100%, Romy. Yeah. It's easy. Just go to your track and you can click on it, I think, from there, and it'll give you the options to skip it forward if you would like to. In fact, Elias, I just saw that you did that as well. On TikTok, would you mind... TikTok just gets completely overwhelmed, Miles, just because at the end of the live stream, there's probably like 150 notifications. And so TikTok's organization of DMs and stuff like that can be kind of frustrating over here. It's easier for me to organize over on Instagram. If not, I'll try to do my best to remember to go back into requests and stuff like that over here. I know a lot gets lost over here. And I have a hard time getting back to them sometimes. So if you can throw it up over on Instagram, that'd be helpful too. Even there, sometimes I get a little bit, I get a little bit overwhelmed with responding to messages just because I get a lot of BS as well. So I promise I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as I can. Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. Sounds good. Okay, let's get into some music, y'all. Let's go ahead and kick it off with some of the consultations here. Perfect, man. I appreciate you. Let's get into some consultations here. We got Elias Iverson in the building once again. Elias came in a couple days ago with some really, really amazing music. So I'm excited to dive into this, get into the details of it. All right, it's just an instrumental, working on vocals, need feedback because I have become blind to the song. I feel that so much. But are worried it is too overproduced and that there are too many parts. I completely understand how that happens. Is it Glowsan? Am I saying that correctly? Thanks for tapping in. I appreciate you being here. We're about to dive into the music. So once again, if you want to submit, everything's at the link in my bio, depending on the lane that you want to go into. Miles, thank you for the heart me. And let's dive in. Let's get into it. Ricks, appreciate you tapping in as well. But let's dive in. We got Elias in the building. Elias, let me know where you're at. Let me know where you're at. And then Not Romeo, I got your push as well. I appreciate you so much. Let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. It's time. No more waiting around. Let me get this downloaded really quick so that the file doesn't skip on me. So give me just one moment. We got Kat in the building. What's up, Kat? Welcome in. Yep, you're set. You're ready to go. I appreciate you. Appreciate you so much. All right. It's downloading. 2 seconds. All right, let's get into it. Any other Of course, you know the deal, but any other details, let me know. Get a little syncopation in here. I feel you. What's up, Chris? Welcome in. Okay, beautiful. Sounds good. What are you using for the piano? Is it like an SRX, like a Roland SRX piano or something? Let me see, Rex, I got you. There's another link there you can try. I'm just not sure if it's still active. The one that we used to use. Yeah, everything's at the link in my bio, Drumlord. Love the feel, man. I really love the sound design in your instrumentals. These gnats are so annoying. Such a cool feel. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Jesus. If y'all see me slap it around, this one gnat in here is killing me. Great guitar tone. Yeah, we got that classic rock move in here. Late 80s. The harmony in the chorus, come on. So good. fun. That's fun. Feels so authentic. Feels so good. Monique, welcome in. Appreciate you joining the stream. Welcome in, y'all. Appreciate y'all tapping in today. The long 80s fade out. Let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Yo, give it up one time for the family. Give it up one time for the family. Elias Iverson right here in the chat. He did everything in the instrumental, programming what was necessary to be programmed, as well as obviously playing a lot of the other instrumentation as well. Guitars, bass, so on and so on. Beautiful, beautiful job. I agree with some of your gut reaction. Excuse me. I agree with some of your own gut reaction to your production of areas of busyness and stuff like that. To me, a lot of it has to do with pattern. A lot of it has to do with like sequencing and the way that that's happening in the background paired with bass. You have a lot of different rhythmic patterns that are happening at the same time. Instrumentally, I don't think it's too busy. I don't think it's overproduced. I think pattern-wise is where it's feeling, maybe noisy in certain pockets of the song, between some of the syncopations, maybe even a little bit of the swing in some elements there. A different pattern on the bass, more a straight line with some of the other synthesis in there. There's a lot of different patterns happening at the same time, not counting a vocal or layers to the vocal or ad-libs to a vocal that might come into play later on as well. So that to me is where it feels busy, not because of the layers themselves that are adding too much to the song, but just that what those layers are doing sometimes feels like too much for the song. So that's where I want to get into now. The vast majority of this, I think, sounds awesome. The vast majority of this, I think, is a really good sounding classic 80s style, pop rock record that I think you've done an amazing job in programming and building progression on. Your sound design, I think, is fantastic. I'm really not like worried about this record at all. It's not far off of what I feel like is a really, really strong record for you, but I just want to hone in on a couple things. I think one of the main ones actually might be the bass. So let's, as we always do, let's run it back from the top. Let's dive into some of the details here, and we'll get into it. But y'all, please show some love to Elias right here in the chat. I think you're awesome. I mean, I told you this last time, that you're just obviously a talented musician. You're a good writer. You understand progression and the marriage between all of these different elements that you have in the song. Absolute monster on the guitars as well. Tone is beautiful. Execution is fantastic. So definitely show some love. Jordan James, welcome in. Appreciate you being here. Lix Jen, appreciate you tapping in as well. A quick reminder for what we're doing here is the consultation side. So these are long. We go back through the song. We listen a couple times. We chop through a couple different elements. And then that's what the consultation side is. That's what we're doing right here. If you want to submit for that, everything's at the link in my bio. Of course, you can always submit for the free line as well, which is an up to 2-minute play and a note at the end. But if you want the full 20 to 30-minute detailed breakdown, that's what we're doing here. Just make sure that you submit to that lane as well. Everything's at the link in my bio. But let's get it, Elias. Let's dive in. Let's run it from the top. Let's get into a couple of the details here. And then, of course, Not Romeo. I've got you in line as well. I appreciate you so much. Let's get into it. Why is it re-downloading? Give me a sec. Give me a sec. Where did it go? What's over here? All right, let's run it. And this is, as far as I know so far, this is unnamed, and they're still waiting on, they're potentially going to be getting some vocals on here as well. I love the introduction of some of the choral elements later on. That to me is a cool little signature for the song as well. So I would keep a lot of that information in the mix. I like that a lot. All right, let's run it from the top. Because even here, we get the, this is not too busy here. That's not what I'm talking about. But even here, you can start to hear the building blocks of the busyness as it comes. So we have, simple strumming pattern while also having a pattern on the ride. There's a little bit of swing, a little bit of that near triplet kind of syncopation on there. And then also having an auto panned, syncopated, like congas and bongos and stuff like that in the background that are going, left and right here. But they also have a bit of swing in the background as well. So even with 3 elements happening, percussion, a little bit of the ride in there, and then of course just the guitars themselves, there's already 2 or 3 different rhythms happening. This to me doesn't sound too busy yet, but you can see how even this is the building blocks for how you build your production later, is starting to add a lot of different rhythmic textures in here that can start to make it sound noisy later on. Even though here it sounds fine. Here it sounds great. You could send the post if you submit. You can send the post in a link if you would like to. You can just like link it when you submit and get yourself in line. Love that, like, Jupiter brassy tone in the background as well. Elias, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. That brassy tone in the background right there, I think is really, really beautifully done as well. So all of this so far, I feel like is you're not adding too much. I don't think we're too far gone yet. Here, drums and guitar follow. Now we're starting to get into a space where we have some ghost notes. We have like, what would be like a push pull on the hats. So we have the triplets right there, which is like a push pull pattern on the push pull pattern on the hi hats, ghost notes on the snare. So and the drums sound fine, the guitar sounds amazing. Again, nothing about what you have there is wrong or sounds bad at all. But what's happening is we're starting to introduce new rhythms, new textures and stuff like that, which is where it starts to get a little bit busier. Still, I think, like I said, sound design wise, it sounds really nice, but I think pattern wise is where we just have to be careful, and probably honestly just where you need to prioritize pattern over other elements. So if we're gonna have an interesting, syncopation for the chords when they come in, which is happening together, your guitars, pianos and brass, your synths in the background, those are kind of dun, 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 those are moving together in that syncopation. So that to me isn't muddy. I don't think there's too much happening there. But then we got to look at percussion. We got to look at the bass line underneath it and look at some of the other elements to see what do we want to prioritize. Do we want to prioritize percussion to make sure that it has all the ghost notes in there, it has the push pull in there, or do we want to prioritize an interesting kind of dynamic bass line? Because having all of them happen at the same time might be where we're getting some mud. Because there's a on the bass. I'm listening for bass here now. Boom, boom. There's a lot of these little trills in between. Moves to the 32nd to lead in. Boom, boom. A lot of these little stutters in there that I think are part of where some of that is happening. They're following more of the hat line. They're following more the hat line and those ghost notes and the push pull than they are like the kick. And so what I would be curious about is if we went down to a boom 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 and followed the syncopation, followed more of the kick pattern with the snare, and simplified bass to not have all of the intricacies that it has currently speaking. So the foundation of the song, bass, kick, snare, is super, super solid. The chords follow the syncopation, really, really solid. And then all of the busyness is really only happening with percussion in the background and hats. But it's not percussion in the background, movement on the chords, hats, a different vocal line with a delay, and the kick and snare pattern, plus the bass line moving in those 16th notes and stuff as well. That, I think, all of that together, for me, the biggest part of where I'm feeling that mud is like bass to drums. I think is where I'm getting the most complexity there, and that's where I would simplify. Now there's some pockets that, there's some little, string pops and stuff in there that I would keep. Obviously you don't have to do just whole notes here necessarily if you don't want to, but that's where I'm not getting the like solid, more rigid foundation to the song. It all has a lot of twists and turns, and I would love to hear like drums and bass a little bit more solidified there. That to me is kind of the pain point here. It's like even here, listen for all the little kind of accents in the background on the bum, 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 boom, 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 boom. Like even those little moments right there, I'd probably just do like the full notes on the bass. Doom, 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 boom. Like you can still have filler, you can still have transitions, you can still have some ad libs in there to an extent, right? But keep more of the whole notes following like the breakdowns that you do, so that your chords, your brass, your synths, piano, all of that stuff with drums and bass are really solid. They're really in a line. Mick, appreciate you tapping in. Thanks for joining the stream, and thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. While still maybe having some complex transitions on the bass, but them not being the main thing that we're dealing with here. Thanks for the follow, Cozy. Now, like I would also be curious on the drum programming side if we have too much of, again, that push pull right there on the hat. If we have too much of that, all those triplets, so on and so on and so on. Everything's at the same link. Everything's combined now to the same link. So if you're on YouTube and you want to see it, it's at the link in the description. If you're on Twitch, type !submit. If you're on here, it's link in bio. Everything's under the same umbrella now, so it keeps it really consistent. Seth, thank you for the lightning bolt. I appreciate you, man. I've been listening to Rolling Stone's top 500 albums to make better music. I love that, dude. I love it. You gotta find inspiration. Yeah, everything's in the same place now, Shane. What I'm curious about is if we have that, those triplets on the hat for too long, doing too much of the same thing, even though we have some breaks. If it's too much of the same thing, if it loses its impact a little bit, I'm curious if we simplify, like maybe a section of the verse, or the first section of the verse, if we simplified it. And we have a little bit of a simpler texture right there, not too much busyness. And then halfway through, when we add in the bass, we add in some other elements, you can move to those triplets to give it a little bit more, energy in the background right there. But it might be beneficial to even there simplify some portions to just let the bass and the piano and the drums chill for a second. So again, it doesn't feel too noisy, doesn't feel too busy. And we can always kick it up a notch whenever you feel like you want to. You can add in the triplets again. You can shift some MIDI, around a little bit to make sure that feels like it fits in the different moments of the song. So for me, again, a lot of what I'm hearing that could use some molding and some polishing is just like bass and percussion, and really being strategic with when and how and why you add or take away certain elements there. Because again, sonically, I like it. Like the tone of the bass. I mean, obviously you're a monster on the bass. You're really, really talented. Most of the programming of the drums, I don't mind much at all. But it's that busyness between the two of them that I think is where you're feeling like this is overproduced. There's too much happening. There's too much noise. I don't think it necessarily has to do with you added one too many synths or there's one too many lead lines on the piano. It more has to do with some of those other kind of more foundational elements of the production structure. Let me move forward a little bit. Because like here, when we open up those drums to just riding on the ride over there. When you open it up to that to me, this simplifies a lot, and it really allows the track to breathe. And I can more so imagine where a vocal would come in. I can really sense where the song is going a bit more than if everything's too busy all the time. Simplifying right there, I'm like, oh, now I can hear the song. I can hear the record. I can see kind of where this is going to go. When it's too much busyness, that's where I think you get lost in the sauce a little bit. Ghost Motion, got you. Appreciate you. So like here, I almost just want. I'm hearing the boom boom boom. I'm hearing all those triplets in the background. When we go into this section right here, what my brain, again, there's no right or wrong answer to this. This is your song, your creativity. Stay authentic with what you want to do. I would love to just hear the kick and the bass together. Boom, 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 boom. I would love to hear like that 4 on the floor with the bass right there, just like punching in the background, giving energy to those chords as you move with the piano and the synths in the background. But right now we're getting all of that extra energy in the background right there. Is the producer a bassist? Yes. Yeah. They played bass and guitar. So bass and guitar is all them actually playing. And then they have VSTs and other sequencing and stuff like that for a lot of the background stuff. But yeah, they are a bassist, and you can tell. I mean, they're awesome. They're absolutely crushing it, man. They're absolutely crushing it. But yeah, this is where I think some like healthy, and I'm the same way with synths, right? Like when it comes to synths, I'm like, I'll add a bunch of different polyrhythms and different textures and different chords and stuff, and then halfway through the production, I'm like, it doesn't need half of this. And sometimes it does. Sometimes the busyness is fine and it works and it does what it's supposed to do. But I can oftentimes overproduce with the thing I'm the most proficient in, and overproduce with the thing that I'm the most comfortable with because I like everything that I'm doing. And so for me, since the other day on a live, yeah, true. It's easy to get carried away, and because you're having fun, and you should be, right? And so in this case, you're such a good you really are. You're such a good bassist. You can hear. I mean, the tone is great. What you're playing is amazing. You're obviously very, very, very talented, and so a healthy level of restraint, I think, could be nice to get regain some clarity in this mix here too. But here, right here with the drums, just like a 4 on the floor. Dun, 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 hearing this dun 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 dun. We're getting all of those syncopations and all of those triplets in the background instead of what my brain just wants to hear is the boom 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 boom. And we can still, like we said, still have some of those transitions, still have some of those lifts in there, still have some really cool transitions of the dun 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 dun. Like we can still move in and out of that progression. But just some nice punchy. I just need the foundation a little bit stronger. So when you do the floaty stuff, and when you do the transitions and the high scaling on the bass and a cool run with the piano and the synths, it means, or the vocal maybe fills in that gap a little bit with some cool runs and some cool classic 80s sound design and stuff like that, then that can actually have some space to do that as opposed to over busying up kind of the low end here. I had too much fun with this one, and afterwards I noticed it turned out a little chaotic. And I'll be honest with you, Elias, you're probably your harshest critic. It does not sound bad. We're diving into it because that's what we're here to do. But this does not sound bad. I don't think anyone would say that this sounds bad. If you try to get a vocalist on here tomorrow, I feel like people would be like, yeah, this is cool. I would love to. You know what I mean? Like, it sounds really good. I think you'll probably get squeeze more out of this song if you're able to simplify certain parts of it. Like I said, mainly percussion and bass. If you can get that a little tighter, a little bit more cohesive together, the rest of what you're doing, I think sounds really nice. I think it sounds really, really nice, man. I don't think you're far off. I don't think you need to change all of this production. I don't think you need to like delete half your synths because it sounds too busy or anything like that. Vast majority of this, I think, sounds fantastic and works really well together. Okay, I'm glad, Elias. I'm glad. Yeah, the swing is kind of cool. I love the swing. I mean, there's a lot of this that feels classic and it feels really, really, really well done. Aiton's in the building. What's up, Aiton? Welcome in, man. So good to see you. What you just did sounded like Imagine Dragons somehow. I mean, yeah, I guess, yeah, some of that could be mixed in there. For 100 minutes, I guess. Yeah, I guess that's a good thing, man. I appreciate you, man. Simplify is the key word here. I don't think you need to cut too many things out because you already have good space and great dynamic range. For me, spend most of your time polishing percussion and bass and their relationship together. I can almost assure you that it will give more power to your chords as you transition them to these breaks that you do, because they'll be simpler. Because what happens if you have bum, bum, bum all together, that feels really impactful and really powerful. But if it's boom, 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 if it's constantly that, then you start to cut out of that break and you lose like the resolve of it and you lose some of the power behind it. Ashlyn, thank you for the harmony. I appreciate it. You lose some of the impact of those breaks. But what you can still do is bum, 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 woo, bum, 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 bum. But like the vast majority of those movements are like tight and they're punchy and they're cohesive and they're on the nose. And you still throw in some of the flair, if you will. You can still throw in some of these other little tasteful ear candy bits that you really want. But, very tastefully and very intentionally in specific pockets of the song. Big love from the UK, Charles. Appreciate you tapping in. Thank you for joining. Big love from here as well. Definitely get a singer on this, 100%. Okay, let me get into the outro here really quick before we get to the fade out, and then we'll move on to the next song. Man, appreciate you so much for sending this in, man. As I mentioned last time, I love the 80s, obsessed with the 80s sound design. I love it so much, and you're doing a fantastic job of bringing that to life, man. You really are. Especially the double time here, that's great. Shane Paul, I got you, man. Thank you so much. Just on this pocket. Just on this pocket. And you can hear in this pocket where we have the dun 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 dun. That little pocket on the bass with the vocal texture makes this feel really, really, punchy. It's driving really, really well. Just because it's like simpler and punchier right there. That to me is where we need to run, man. That's where we need to run. Is there anyone in the queue that's tier 4 right now? Yes, I believe so. Shane, who's about to come up. I can't tell you. Yeah, they're tier 4. They're tier 4. And you can always, if you want to go faster than that, then you can always add to that. So like you started at tier 4 and then move past them. But right now the next song coming up is a tier 4. But man, y'all please show some love to Elias. Show some love to Elias, man. love, and appreciate what you do so much, man. It feels so authentic. It feels so real. You really are a brilliant musician. You're very, very, very talented, man. So all love to you and what you do, man. Obviously, very engaged with what you do, man. I love it so much. So everybody, please show some love, man. Show some love to Elias Iverson right here in the chat. Let's go. I talked to you before I use Suno. Is this one try? Yeah, you can send in whatever you want. Again, my goal is to be as valuable as possible. So whatever you feel like I can help you with, whatever you feel like I'd be able to offer the most tools, as far as engaging in the chat and stuff like that, that's up to you. Some people send in completely AI, that's up to them. I like to talk about the nuances and details of what people are doing. And so, the more I'm able to do that, the more I enjoy the process. And however you go about your music, obviously, is completely up to you. Sounds good. Have all these AI. All right, let's get into it, man. Let's get into the next one. We got some of the family in the building. We got Shane Paul in the building. Let's keep it rolling. I am not going to be on for very long today, so I will be closing up the line here probably in the next maybe 20, 30 minutes or so on and so on. Sometime I'd love to get your opinion on AI music, but we don't have to right now. Yeah, I mean, we talk about it over the course of the live stream because, of course, every 4 minutes someone is asking me about it. It's probably the biggest conversation in music right now. I just don't care. I think that I don't know if that's like there's certain parts of it that I do care about, and there's certain parts that I don't care. If you're fulfilled by doing that, it just depends on what your pursuit is. You know what I mean? For some people, the reason why they're using AI is because they can skip some parts of the process and they're hoping to get more money out of it. They're hoping to get more exposure out of it. They're hoping to bypass some of the creative process in order to just get finished projects sooner and so on and so on. That, it just kind of depends on and some people are just using it as a writing tool. They're using it as a second ear in the studio. They're whatever it may be. They're using it as a session musician to bypass having to use session musicians. If that's something that you're personally cool with and you feel fine with, I can't tell you differently. I don't necessarily care what you do. I love art. I love creativity, and I want people to be fulfilled by art and creativity. And if that does fulfill you, as far as the way that you present and pursue your art and creativity in whatever facet of that, then good for you. I can't tell anyone otherwise. You know what I mean? That's not me to hate on you for that or whatever it may be. I personally don't use it, never have used it, and never will use it as far as making music and stuff like that. And that's my perspective. But that's also because I would not be fulfilled by it. I would not enjoy it. I love using this stuff. I love dealing with I love the annoying parts of music sometimes. I love the things that take a long time. I love fighting through a song to make it happen. I love, twiddling knobs and moving things around and adjusting things manually. For me, I feel like it doesn't mean that you do, but I make more creative and more interesting decisions when I have to fight through some of those things. Someone else might not. They'd be like, dude, I don't care. I'd rather just input it really quickly and see what's happening. You know what I mean? But yeah, I can see it's you. I also think here's the thing with AI too. I know we were like, we don't have to get into it, and here we are. But I think there's a little bit again, I personally don't love it. I'm personally not the biggest fan of it. You can do whatever you want to do. I personally, I don't want to use it. And I have my own personal opinions on the respect that I have for people that have done things over a long period of time. And that's just my perspective. It doesn't have to be anyone else's. But that being said, I do think there is a bit of an ego, sometimes of people who were not presented with that option early on. And I think this is the thing that people need to be more honest about, is if you grew up and that was the norm or a part of the norm around you, I don't know that a lot of us wouldn't have been using it earlier on. I don't know. I'm not saying that we would have. I'm not saying that it's right or wrong in that sense or whatever. But I started producing when I was 12 years old. I started producing when I was 12 years old on floppy disks on an old Clavinova. And then from there, when I was about 13 years old, I started producing on Pro Tools when I taught myself Pro Tools when I was 13. In that time, if randomly, however long, 18, 19 years ago, if there would have been something that just said oh, you can just do this really quick and this part of it will be done for you. I don't know that I wouldn't have done it then, not knowing anything. You know what I mean? not knowing anything else that's going on, not knowing ethics, not knowing, all these other things, not knowing about copyright law, not knowing about the legalities behind, publishing access and the mechanicals, whatever. Like if I'm 13 years old, I don't know. And I think that they're oftentimes, as much as I don't love it for myself, I think we can sometimes have an ego of when certain people come into the creative world and they're like, I don't know, I can kind of sing and there's a tool that allows me to build a whole band around me. Cool. And there's not even a lot of extra thought put around all of the peripheral, ideas around utilizing generative AI in their music and stuff like that. So I try to have some grace for people. At the same time, I know the opinions that I hold. It's just a songwriter who used to sing and rap, 18 years with the pen, 100%. ADAT tapes. Yep. I just would love your input. I'm not trying to, no, 100%, 100. And then Tron, you've been great, man. If you use, make music, you'll never have a career. I mean, yeah, there's some nuance to that and how you use it and the rights that you have to it and stuff like that. It's hard. I will say that it is a challenging thing. It is a challenging thing to work through nowadays. It is a challenging thing to work because most of the publishers are denying AI. Who knows how long that lasts? I don't know. Having understanding for people is a good 100% Ghost. And that's the thing. That's always going to be the way. 100% Tron. Yeah, you can't license. Yeah, it's going to have its challenges. But, at the same time, I was on YouTube earlier and I got some ad on YouTube for some medicine. The whole thing was AI. It was AI music. It was an AI voiceover. It was whatever. And so they're just a lot of what's going to happen, unfortunately, is just the companies will just use it themselves because it's a lot easier for them. And they just won't have to pay musicians anymore. They won't have to pay writers. They won't have to pay anyone. They'll just make some really quick BS stuff to toss in there. It's a lot cheaper than, spending $25,000 for a 3-month license for an Academy commercial. That's what's going to happen probably more often though. And then even the people that are just having fun with AI now, they're going to get completely kind of knocked out of the game because then instead of being like, well, maybe I can just get some fun stuff that's happening with my music. Even then the companies, it's so easy for them. The companies will just do it themselves. And then you just won't have to, you won't have to do much then. And that's going to be what's going to be challenging for a lot of people. Yeah. Without permission, and that's most people's legitimate gripe. It's not that it doesn't sound good. There's I got to keep on with the music. I know. But people it's slop. It's like, well, dude, there's real slop too. Come on. That can't be the argument. Again, y'all know my position, but the argument can't be that it just sounds good or that the songs suck. That can't be it because there's really shitty, organic music too. That can't be the argument. The argument can't be just that it doesn't sound good. There's really crappy sounding real music too. So it's like, I think the arguments are oftentimes misplaced. I think there are some genuine arguments to have. But I do think that oftentimes people's anger and their frustration is misplaced when it comes to talking about AI music. From something with no permission than a slot, 100%. And that's the same with, like I said, that's the same with real music oftentimes too. So, where it's like, if you just literally take nothing and build it into a whole, I know, same. I don't know. It's a new world, Aiton. So, sometimes you just don't even know what to call things. Everything's at the link in my bio. I'm going to be closing the line here in a little bit, though. We got Shane Paul in the building. I got to get back to the music. Thank you for the questions, though. I know I probably need to I just don't even sometimes it's just annoying to talk about because everyone gets so egotistical and everyone gets so emotional about AI music or, not AI music and whatever team that you're on and stuff like that. So I don't love, I've thought about it. Like, dude, everyone's making YouTube videos on this. Everyone's making TikToks on this. I should probably talk about it. And sometimes it's more fun to just talk about it here in the chat. But anyways, let's get into it. We got Shane in the building. Let's get it. Once again, y'all, everything is at the link in my bio if you want to submit. We got Shane Paul in the building. Shane, just hop in the chat. Let me know that you're here really quick so we can get into it. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for the question as well. Re-recorded the whole thing ground up. This is a rough mix. Need feedback on drum mix, sound, guitars, and bass. Voice is unmixed. So keep that in mind. There's a lot of this that is early scratch tracks or is unmixed or is redone completely, and so on and so on. All right, let's get into it. Rough mix, focus on drums and guitars. Rework the song. Vocals are not mixed. Bass is gross. Okay, sounds good. I love the descriptors. This is Twin by Shane Paul. I don't think I've heard this. The name doesn't sound familiar, but let's get into it. Let's get into it. Oh yeah, I remember this. Maybe it was a different name. Nice. Okay, cool. Oh yeah.
Bigger, better, faster, for free. I wanna win. He's a winning machine. My competitive advantage is another of me. I got a twin. Big brother is mean. He's got 007 minus 6 in his jeans. They say it just brings us all together. They say it might make us live forever. Counterfeit piece of a great pretender. You'll never get far if you don't surrender. I don't know. I'm not convinced. It's a benevolent scheme. This plot's got a twist that I've already seen. I'm not convinced.
Let's go.
It can set me free. One ring, one mind, one utopian beast. You follow the leader to all you believers. You're falling for theater.
Drums sound way better. I don't know what you shifted, but they're way better. Much more open, better stereo imaging.
They say it just brings us all together. They say it might make us
What's the layer in the background there? Sounds like a couple things happening at the same time.
never get far if you don't surrender. Save my heart, can't save my soul, can't resurrect this flesh and bone, can't turn to flesh this inner stone. But I still
Yeah, I love the fuzz.
I don't know. Yeah, sick of it, dude, I'm sick of it. Do what you want.
This is new, right?
The flip of a fingertip.
Or maybe not.
Whispering promises to make all of us infinite. Familiar problem we're establishing, isn't it? But they don't know. Hey, I don't know. Hey, I don't. Hey, I don't know.
Sick, man. It's so good. Y'all show some love. Show some love, show some love, show some love. Okay, I've heard the song probably, I don't know, maybe a month ago or something like that. I heard the earlier version of it. A lot of this was redone. So I think re-recorded some of the guitars, some of the parts, all of the vocals are redone. Those are unmixed. A lot of this is unmixed currently speaking. Marshall, thanks for the follow. A lot of these are unmixed and very early in their build out of building the rest of the mix here. So keep that in mind as we kind of go through this. There's a lot of this that is not going to feel like it's super polished. Part of that I love. I got to be honest with you. Some of the rawness of this is the thing that I think is really endearing about what you're doing. Where I don't want it to be overproduced or over polished. I want it to feel grungy and nasty, and I want it to have a lot of great energy to it. So I want to maintain some of that while at the same time making sure that things aren't stepping on their toes as much as they were in the past. Already a huge improvement on the mix on the drums. Those feel wider. They feel more open. I think we talked a lot about the way you were processing in stereo, the way that you were building your reverbs. I think was a couple reverbs and compression. I think if I'm remembering correctly, was a lot of what we were digging into the last time. So we'll dig into some of those details there. But that's a huge improvement already. I mainly want to talk through some of the drum structure and some of the other layering that you have here as well. Marshall, yeah, I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for tapping in. Everything's at the link in my bio. There is a free line for an up to 2-minute listen and a quick note. But what we're doing here right now is the consultation side. This is where we go back through the song. We listen for 20 to 30 minutes breaking down the song structure. That's on the consultation side. So keep in mind wherever you want to go, that's kind of where it's at. But let's dig into it, man. Let's keep it rolling here. Let's run it from the top. This is the family. Shane Paul right here in the chat, man. Love and appreciate what you do so much. He did all of this, by the way, too. Even though these are early scratch tracks, they did all of this. Production, writing, vocal. Obviously, they'll work through the mix. They're very talented, but they're doing a lot of work. That's not an easy thing to do. So definitely show some love to Shane. Show some love. Lost in the Night. I got you. I appreciate you so much. Appreciate it. Let's run it. Let's run it. Let's go, Ted. Love to hear that.
I got a twin, an apparition in me. Yeah, he walks, talks, thinks,
one thing I want to keep in mind. So there's kind of two parts of this. I know some of this is not mixed, so I'm going to keep that in mind as well. 15K in a day. Let's go. I love to hear that, Teb. I love to hear that. Kind of two things in tandem. One is kind of a suppression of a lot of low end information. The drums are heavy, and I think they're doing a great job. But on the bass side, it sounds like there's a lot of energy that's been kind of cut out the low end there. Just be aware of that. Be careful of that. We still want some thickness there, especially 400 hertz and below. We want a lot of energy there to support the mix and give it a solid foundation. In tandem to that, a lot of mid energy that's happening with the vocal stacks as well as some of the guitar layers, especially on the hook. You'll hear some of this happening. They kind of run over each other a little bit here. So that's kind of where I want to focus a lot of our attention right there. The drums already feel, like I said, the drums already feel a lot more energetic. They feel wider. They feel more open. I just want to focus on a couple other elements that kind of support it and kind of see where they go from there. Let me double check something real quick. I just want to double check the message here really quick. Drum mix sound, yeah, guitars, bass, drums. Okay, 100. I just want to make sure I'm focusing on the thing that you want me to focus on too. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm looking.
Like me, I got a twin. The evolution of dreams.
Like that bass right here. That bass right here is, and I actually liked it. It's you know, it's kind of punchy. It's got a cool feel to it that I really like, but it is missing a lot of low end information. Jamal, so good to see you, man. Thanks for tapping in. It's missing a lot of that low end information. Even though you're playing a little bit higher on the fretboard, even when we get into the hook, we still don't have a ton of this other energy in the low end here. So here's what I'm going to do really quick. I'm actually going to drop this into Pro Tools. I'm not going to show it because here's the thing. David, thanks for tapping in. I appreciate you. Here's the thing. Unfortunately, I got to figure out with TikTok. For whatever reason, TikTok suppresses me and like suspends me off the For You page every time I show Pro Tools on here, even though I'm like literally showing out what I do. I don't know why. I have no reasoning behind it. So I'm not going to show you, but I am going to make some edits and I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to drop this over into Pro Tools and then I'll kind of walk you through loosely what's happening and hopefully it all works out. David, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. All right, let me make sure all of this is muted. Let's get this right here. It's a cool, like, I love that you did all this yourself, man. It is a cool track. It's really, really nice. All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go basic. I'm just gonna throw a fab filter. I'm not gonna do anything too crazy, nothing too nuts. I used a guitar for the bass and I've been mangling it for days. This is great. One thing you could potentially look into, I don't know if you have the Waves plugins or the subscription to the Waves plugins. Or it might be with Native Instruments. I'm not sure. I have both packs from them, from Native Instruments as well as Waves. I don't know, but there's one. I think it's called Subharmonic, or it's a sub plugin. I've used it on basses a lot before, especially if the bass is higher, whether it's like a synth bass and I want a little bit of subharmonics, or if it's like a real bass and I'm just not getting the weight out of it that I want to. It can just add in a lot of the subharmonics under there in like a low octave, or you can pair it really quick. Okay, you don't have to. I mean, the Waves is like $20 a month or something like that. You know, take that for what it is. You get like 200 something plugins, 240 plugins, 220 plugins. It could be great. But what I would do though is increase some of those subharmonics. The nice thing is that it actually introduces almost like a sub signal, like a sub oscillator kind of, to whatever signal you attach it to. I've done it for drums. I've done it to add like a crazy weight to the snare. So if you're trying to like beef up a snare, you're trying to create some weight for a bass guitar that just doesn't have it, whatever it may be, it can be great for stuff like that, especially if you use it in parallel or you do it really, really tastefully and just mix it in. It can add a lot of weight that is really beneficial to the mix. So I would look at something similar, whether you do it through the sub plugin, whatever it is. I can actually see what it is here real quick. Just in case you want to look it up. Let me see. No, not RBass. RBass is just like a compressor. Or compressor processor sequence with Waves, which I have as well, but I think it's under Pro Subharmonic is what it's called. Pro Subharmonic. And there's a ton of different functions in there that you can use. And there's also just like some presets you could use. But anyways, you could always, if you don't want to pay for the subscription and pay $300 a year for plugins, then you could always just like buy this one plugin for $30 if you felt like it, if it was helpful for you. Now that I know you are using a guitar for the bass, it makes a little bit more sense. That gives me a little bit more of what we're talking about. So let me run this here. I'm just gonna add an EQ. We're gonna keep it really, really simple, nothing crazy, but I want to show you how we can like wake this up a little bit. And then what that's gonna tell me is kind of where some of your ring points are, like those over resonant frequencies that are just causing you some issues, as well as where we can increase a little bit more energy in the low end tier. Again, most of it's happening, but below 400 hertz, but even more so around 150 hertz on the sub too, just because you don't have really any of that on your bass that you have, or your guitar, but your bass here that you have as well. I bet you could guess what my favorite music is. I can't. I'd really appreciate it if you could listen to my song. Yeah, if anyone wants to submit, you can submit at the link in my bio. What we're doing right now is the consultation side, if that's what you're interested in. But there is a free line as well if you want to submit there. Okay, and we're getting a ton of submissions actually, so I probably am going to close the line here pretty quick because I don't have a ton of time. Lost in the Night, I got you. Fallon, I got you. Fallon, thank you so much for the submission. Jesus. Toxic Mick, I got you. Appreciate you so much. Certified, I got you. I'm just double checking everything here too. Romeo, obviously. Ghost and District 8. Y'all probably are gonna go skips only for sure right now, actually. And then if I'm not able to get to everybody, then obviously you can just request a refund or tap in with me again, maybe tomorrow or Sunday. I don't know if anyone's gonna be around tomorrow. Like I'm not gonna really do anything tomorrow, to be honest with you. I don't really care. But I don't know if anyone else is gonna be, right? Because I was thinking, it was like maybe like I don't think I'll do any projects tomorrow. I might even just like hop on for a little bit. Do a live. But I also don't think I don't know if anyone else is going to be on live as well. Toxic Mike. What? Oh, did I say Mick? Yeah, Toxic Mike. Okay, thank you. Sounds good, extra tone. Sounds good. Currently speaking, that's what it says on my end. On my end, it does. All right, so let's run through this track real quick. Let's see a couple quick things here, and then we'll move on.
I got a twin, an apparition in me. Yeah, he walks, talks, thinks, thoughts just like me. I got a twin, an evolutional dream. He can do it all bigger, better, faster, for free. I wanna win. He's a winning machine. My competitive advantage is another of me. I got a twin. Big brother is me. He's got 007 minus 6 in his jeans. They say it just brings us all together. They say it might make us live forever. Counterfeit piece of a great pretender. Never get by if you don't surrender. I don't know. I'm not convinced. It's a benevolent scheme. This plot's got a twist that I've already seen. I'm not convinced.
Okay.
It can set me free. One ring, one mind.
Okay, real quick. I'm going to go back through some things, and we're going to the stupid chair. It just keeps falling down. Hey, no worries at all. There's no pressure at all, man. And keep in mind, I try to as well. If you aren't able to get heard for any reason, I always try to do my best to help skip y'all forward more the next time that we come in as well. So for any reason you don't get heard today, Not Romeo, or anybody that doesn't get heard, I'll do my best to like add more to you the next time, so you can keep getting pushed forward every time that we go live as well, just in case. Lost in Light, I got you. Extra tone, appreciate you so much. Okay, so I'm gonna A and B just a couple things here, just to kind of see what we're talking about, and show you where I'm adding more of this weight and stuff as well. So
I got a twin, an apparition in me. Yeah, he walks,
That's the
talks,
difference.
thinks, thoughts just like
Original,
me. I got a twin,
back.
an evolutional dream. He can do it
Original.
all bigger, better, faster, for free. I wanna win. He's a winning machine. My
Original.
competitive advantage.
All right, I'm gonna get into the main hook here. Let's see, let's go original.
They say it just brings us all together. They say it
Original.
might make us live forever. Counterfeit piece of a great pretender.
Now this is not. I'm not. Oh, the stupid chair. Mass, thanks for tapping in. I appreciate you. Thanks for joining over on Twitch. Appreciate you tapping in. Again, it's a great structure. Like, it's a great song structure, and I wish I could show. I mean, technically I could show it on the other platforms, but TikTok is just weird. The chair is pissing me off, Shane. I don't want to hear about it, man. I don't want to hear about it. And I'm not like, I was given this chair, to be honest with you. It's like a cheap like chair off Amazon. I was given this chair. There's like duct tape covering both. All of the stuff is like falling apart, and it's like all over the place. So both of the handles are like duct taped. Anyways, and then it just every 2 minutes it's just slowly getting lower and lower and lower. Dude, it's so annoying. It's so annoying. But I don't want to spend more money on another chair. I'd rather spend it on synths. Tor, gonna put my skip it on hold for the next live. Just ran it. Yeah, no worries at all. I hope everything's okay. 100%. Just let me know next time. You know the deal. Let me know the next time that you're in here. I'll pull it straight from the other session, and we'll put you on where you need to go. Okay. What do the tiers mean, if you don't mind me asking? Oh, it's just pace. It's how fast you want to go. So if someone submits at 10 and someone else submits at 15, then the person in the 15 gets played first. So it just is whatever capacity you have to want to be heard faster. That's up to you. There's no pressure. Synth tastes better than Shay. That's true. That's very true. Okay, but the back and forth here is what I'm talking about. Back and forth here is what I'm talking about, right? So what I'm listening for is not having the subharmonics there, not having the far high end, as well as having this big push. I think it's like around 2,000 hertz. Let me see where I have it. Yeah, about 2,000 hertz, like 1,500 to 2,500 hertz. There's a lot of midtone right there, and there's a lot stacking there between the guitars and the vocal layers and the hook right there. And because they're all kind of stacking up right there, there's not a lot of room for things to jump through. There's really not a lot of room, right? So I think you're bringing in some vocal layers that are doing and the outside, right? Like double tracked way on the outside right there. That right there is getting kind of completely lost behind the guitars and stuff like that, because they're just sitting in the same space and they have that same like 2,000 hertz push that is making them feel really, really mid forward. I can do some mid-side processing with that too to retain 100%. So like if you wanted to carve some of that, in this case, you could even carve some of the space of the guitars outside of the stereo, bring it back into the middle of the mix. You got to be careful, obviously, with the way that you process it, but there's a lot you can do. There's a lot that you can do to kind of create some space and some openness in the mix between those two different elements there. But watch out for like 1,500 to 2,000 hertz. There's a decent chunk of energy right there between your vocals, the guitars, and some of the accents that are happening that I think are kind of stepping on the toes here. But again, going into the hook back.
You say it just brings us all together. You say it might make us live forever. Counterfeit piece of a great pretender.
Original. So you can hear how it's like the whole mix kind of does this, right? It has this kind of shelf where like the bottom gets kind of cut out, the top gets cut out, and then the mid gets pushed forward. And that's kind of what I'm listening for here. I'm kind of going too crazy to exaggerate it a little bit, kind of show you what I'm talking about. But you'll hear kind of, so, I mean, on my, like, I'm doing too much, and again, I'm doing it on the master. So this is something that I would do on the bass. I wouldn't do this on the whole master. I would make sure the bass has this energy. But where I'm pushing, I mean, I have a big bell curve at 65 hertz. And again, we're getting to the low end of, nearly, unaudible on the far low end here. But, I have a push of about 2.5 dB at like 180 hertz. So those low end into low mids, there's a decent chunk of energy right there. 2.5, 3 dB is a pretty good push right there. That's going to warm up the mix quite a bit, especially in the low mids. But that sub that's boosted, I have it up 4.5 dB. Don't do that. Like maybe 3.5 I have like 65 hertz, 3.5 dB. And again, that's obviously affecting the master, but what that is doing, what you're hearing is you're getting a lot more life in the snare, like the drums feel more powerful, the bass feels more powerful. I started to push a bell curve at 60 as well on the kick, but scooped it out of the bass. That might be part of what's missing. In fact, I would probably do the opposite, to be honest with you. When it comes to like mixing the two, you're getting so much more decay from your bass instrument, or the guitar in this case that you're using as a bass. You're getting a lot more decay right there. So if you're cutting that, then all of that extra energy is just lost over the whole bass, over the whole chord, over the whole progression, right? With the kick, it's very transient. It's very close. It's got a tight decay. So boom, boom, boom. So all you're going to get is a doof. You're just going to get some heaviness right there, but you're not going to get any of that energy in the mix over the long term with the decay of the bass. So what I would do is have more of that energy on the bass and carve it out of the kick. Take a high pass on the kick and put it at like 40 hertz, 45 hertz, and cut out all the low end rumble out of the kick, and create some, you can create some space between the kick and the bass as necessary, or just have them work together. Like if you're not hearing a buildup of energy right there, you don't have to carve space. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. You don't have to carve space. Don't do anything just out of like, out of like your policy for mixing, but do it in a way where you're like, I hear this annoying thing happening and I need to sidechain, I need to carve, I need to be more surgical with it. But if you're not doing that, let them live together, let them build up some energy, let them give you some space, get a stronger decay on the bass and so on and so on. Because what you're hearing now, when I play this unbypassed, if I play it with my EQ,
They say it just brings us all together.
you're getting more of the you're getting more of that energy in the low mids from the bass because I have that boosted 3 dB, right? Exactly. So you don't want it to be too far heavy. So when I'm boosting 4 dB, 4.5 dB at 60 hertz, you don't need that on the whole mix. You just need it on the elements that are going to create that pop right there. So I would do it largely on the bass itself, like process the bass really cleanly, and I think you'll be fine. And then guitar, now once you do that, you'll need to rearrange a little bit. So now the guitar might sound like it's not doing exactly what you want it to do. So you might need to, carve a little bit here and here, and maybe add in a little bit of this information on the guitars, carve a little bit of that 2000 hertz out of the guitar so it's not ringing so much. Vocal layers, be really tasteful with the way that you process those as well. But that's where I would say is kind of in that pocket. Let me get out of the EQ right now, because that to me is one of the biggest things, and their relationship to each other, right? Once you change like the relationship between the percussion, thank you for the follow, the percussion and the bass, everything else that you've layered on top of that is going to have a different relationship now too, right? If you add in a bunch of like mid information to the bass to get it to sit forward a little bit more, you're also then going to be like, well, now this is kind of muddied with the guitars. You might need to carve some things there, or just be very tasteful with the way that you, with the way that you build out some of these other layers here. Certified. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. Okay, let's get a little deeper into the song here so I can move forward. But yeah, I mean, that to me is one of the main things. Is the mix is kind of here, and I want it to feel more open and make sure that everything kind of has its place. Super insecure about my synth work too. Don't be. That's the thing with synths. Is like, I mean, as much as I love doing fun, crazy stuff on, with synths, sometimes the best thing is just something random and small and simple. So don't feel insecure, man. Just do what feels. They're forgiving. Yeah. I mean, like listen to like all of the records that you like. It's like, you do it then. He's like, fine. It's not to me, don't put so much pressure on yourself. Sometimes the best things for a song are like the simplest, and don't even necessarily sound good isolated. That's why I don't solo too much when I'm mixing. And all of the great engineers that I know or that I've worked with, or that, that we follow, they don't solo, often either. Obviously you do your initial staging of your mix and stuff like that, but you don't listen to these instruments isolated in your mix. You know what I mean? Like, figure out if you're running into a pain point and there's mud and there's things you got to, isolate some things and find out where they're competing. But for the most part, like your mix doesn't exist in a vacuum. These instruments don't exist in a vacuum. They have a relationship with other things that sometimes if you're doing too much to one thing and you never, have a chance to like have it manifest in the rest of the mix, you never know the relationship between these other elements in the mix. And anyways, that can happen a lot too, where you're like, man, this bass sounded great when I was like soloing it and compressing it and EQing it and doing all these things. And I added the sub over here and I EQ'd the bass at 60 hertz here and whatever, but you never got like its relationship to everything else that was happening. So just be aware of that. I mean, some of that comes with some like maturity as an engineer over time too, of just being able to trust your ears and what you're hearing, and trust the tools that you have to make adjustments with what you're hearing. But I do think it's really important to not over isolate your mixes and be like, man, these vocals sounded great, but as soon as I press play, they sound like shit against the guitars, because you isolated something that is no longer in relationship with the rest of the mix, and that's important to keep in mind, especially if you're bussing too, because if you like isolate a vocal and you're like, okay, this is compressed perfectly, and then you unisolate and unsolo that vocal, and now there's 40 other vocal layers on a choir going to a vocal bus, and all of a sudden your bus compressor slammed by 6 dB, and you're like, wait, what just happened? It's because it's not in collaboration with the rest of the mix anymore. Anyways, so that's a side note, but let's get to the end of the song here. Drums to me are so much better though. I mean, I know one of your questions was drums. As far as like what I'm hearing here, especially with what you're using, like this is so much better. I think it sounds pretty dang good compared to the first couple times that I heard this song too. Your vocal performance I think is great as well. I think you're doing a great job emoting. There's a lot of passion and emotion in your vocal performance. So that's there's a lot that you're doing that I greatly appreciate. What's up, love everyone? What's up?
Yeah, sick of it, digital sick of it. Do what you want to.
So like right there, what's going on? Right there, what I'm hearing is a lot of low end energy, the 60 hertz in the drums. So I'm hearing the thickness on the low end of the drums, no support from the bass, and the guitar's feeling really filtered and thin. So what I want to hear more of, because your vocals supported pretty well by the energy of the song. Like you said, the vocals are unmixed. I don't want to touch that until you actually, dive into that and make the corrections you already know you want to correct. But on the production side, you're overinflating that kick, thinning out the bass, and then thinning out the guitars by default. And what I think we need to do is add some weight and energy to the bass, re-bring in some mids and low mids, like, 400 to 800 hertz out of those guitars so they don't feel like all telephone filtered out. Add in a little bit more of the low mids there, and then compartmentalize the drums where you need to be. But it's like the relationship between those three different things, if they can change and they can be adjusted, the song is going to feel so much more vibrant, so much more energetic. So I'm super excited for where you're going with this, man. Again, I heard the first time that you sent it in, and this is already a huge improvement just structurally speaking. It's much easier to work with than when you're too far gone into a production and you're like, I don't even know where to turn. Jay, thanks for the follow. I don't even know where to turn. I'm 6 drum buses deep and I don't know where to go. I don't know what's affecting everything else. So you're in a much better spot right now, man. You should be really, really, really proud of what you're doing, man. Yeah, I do know it's worth it. It's worth it. If a song's worth it, it's worth it, man. I do think this one is. So y'all show some love to Shane. Let's keep it rolling. We got more music to get to. I'm gonna try to move a little bit faster. We got Lost in the Night by Lost in the Night. I recorded all the good, and this is extra tone. You'll see extra tone here in the chat as well. I am going to close the line. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to everybody in the consultation side tonight. If I don't, y'all obviously have 2 options through the platform. You can just request a refund if that's easier for you, if that makes it easier to just get your song back, or if you want to save it for the next time that I'm live, just let me know the next time that you come in, and I'll go to the other session and I'll bring your song in. That way I can just get you straight back in the board. In fact, if you do get saved, I'll boost you next time as well. So just one benefit, if you do want to save your song for the next time that we go live, I'll make sure that I give you a boost so you get a little bit farther ahead the next time we're live as well. Basically bump you up a tier. Marco, we don't do ratings here. What we're doing right now are these detailed consultations. They're about 20 to 30 minutes a piece. They're long form. They're super analytical. And so it's a lot going on at the same time. We do have a free line that I try to dip into every once in a while, but today I'm moving a little bit faster just because I've got a lot I've got to do. All right, Lost in the Night. Sure, Tron. Yeah, I mean, totally up to you. Totally up to you. You have a couple people. I will say a couple people did skip past you. So I've got Lost in the Night, Toxic Mike, not Mick, and then Certified Tron. So if you want to save it, update your file, anything, whatever, you got a revision or whatever, just let me know. I don't know. This weekend's weird. Obviously, it's July 4th tomorrow. I don't care. I'm not doing anything, but I do. I don't know if anyone else will be, and so I don't know if I'll go live tomorrow just because I don't want to get on and there's like 3 people, and so that's we'll see. We'll kind of see what's going on tomorrow, but I might be live tomorrow, maybe Sunday. We'll just kind of see what's happening. Sundays also, there's a bunch of great games on Sunday too, so we'll have to see. Sounds good. Yeah, just remind me when you get back in, Tron. Make a note of it in your phone or something like that, because obviously I get so many different submissions over a live. I want to make sure that I remember the name and I can pull it back. But either way, I can just go to the session. If you'd like, oh yeah, 2 days ago I sent him my song, I'll go there and I'll lock you in. 100%. Soto, if you want to see the queue, it's at the same place you submit. So if you submitted in the same place that you submit, you'll see the queue right there too, and you can see exactly the order. All right, let's get it. We got Lost in the Night. Lost in the Night. Let me know where you're at. Let me know where you're at. That way I can make sure that you are present. Let me read through this really quick. I recorded all the guitars and played the keyboard, bass, and keyboards. Keyboard, bass, and keyboards. Also, the drums are samples. None of the instruments are quantized, like some of my other songs, but the drums are still on the grid. I made this months ago, and the next song I will send will have the drums that are manually played with MIDI rather than clicked onto the grid. Let me know if that sounds like a good idea. All right, let's get into it. Extra tone right here in the building. This is Lost in Night. Let me pull it up on the YouTubes really quick. You're totally good. You're totally good. I know, I saw that it said it twice. So it's Lost in the Night by Extra Tone. Is it out on all platforms?
It was strange, but it was perfect. Familiar face I don't recognize.
Nice.
The mirror on my mind. But deep inside the world is crying. With another shallow repeated smile. But every time I look that way, I can't believe
I like the melody following.
I became. I'm
Sounds good. I got you. I can also ask some stuff in the chat.
She has nothing
No worries.
else to live for. She posts a picture to get some love.
This is nice, extra. This is nice.
But life is nothing like the picture.
Really like the bass line.
But deep inside, she's all alone. Every day we fall so far. I can't believe that's who we are. We're searching chaos, fading dawn, building a fortress while we're breaking apart. Lost in the shadow, trapped in the maze, reaching for remnants I've been waiting for days.
Yeah.
And it's all because of you, and it makes me so much. It's all because of me, and it makes me so much. It's all because of everybody. But anyway, I'll be, and it makes me so much. Lost in hatred, lost in the line, bending the ties that bring us all back alive. Chasing the future, wasting my time, chasing the thrill of what won't keep me satisfied. Life is a memory, life is a song, life is a mirror and it shows who we are. Searching the chaos, fading the dawn,
Yeah. Yeah.
building the fortress while we're breaking apart.
Let's go. Y'all show some love, show some love, show some love. Man, let's get into it. This is Extra Tone. That is Lost in the Light. Y'all are asking about submitting. I'm thinking, let me just double check what I have left right now, because I know a couple people aren't staying. They're going to be coming back another day. So let me just see where I have the consultations right now. I might need to close the line a little bit earlier. Like I mentioned at the start, some of y'all know we're here, so that's not on you. But it's a shorter live today. Yesterday and today, I've just had way too much other work I had to get to, so a little bit shorter. I'm hoping to do some longer lives this next week. It just kind of depends on my workload when I do these lives. So give me a second to see. Let's see, Mick, I got you. So Tron Fallon, I'm gonna say 1, 2. We got Aiton in the building. I didn't even see Aiton in there. Let's go, Aiton. Good to see you, man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah, I gotta close the line. Okay. I am gonna go ahead and close the submission line. If you are in the submission line, you can still move around. You can still shift the order that you're in order to go faster. If that'd be helpful to you or valuable to you, then of course you can do that. But I'm gonna go ahead and stop new submissions just because I only have maybe like another hour to an hour and a half left, and I still have a good chunk of songs. I'm gonna try to get to as many as I can, and maybe have to save a few of them. So let me go ahead and close submissions here really quick. But just keep in mind, for those of you, I think Izzy, Jericho, a couple of y'all that are asking about submitting, everything is typically at the link in my bio, and I will be live maybe sometimes this weekend. I'm just not positive. It's kind of a weird weekend, just timing wise. But definitely this next week I will be live, probably at least 4 days out of the week. That's what I'm trying to do. I've been trying to do about 4 days a week, just in between other work and projects. So anyways, make sure that y'all are following. Make sure that y'all are followed or subscribed on Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, whatever it may be. And that way you can stay in tune with kind of what's happening on the live and stuff like that. Okay, so let me double check a few things here. Let's see, things are still getting pushed up. Okay, anyways, let's get back into it really quick. But y'all, please show some love to Extra Tone. Extra Tone, I love what you're doing. I love what you're doing. Let's run it from the top. We'll talk about a couple things. One of the main things that I'm hearing in this mix, there's a lot of the like natural production structure that I actually really like. It's very natural. It's very even. A lot of that I can really appreciate. Even the drums, having sequence drums like this, I don't mind that they're closer to the grid. It works well with your acoustic patterns. They're still pretty close to the grid too. So all of that is making sense to me. That all feels really well lined up for me. There's a couple balancing things, but one of the main things is I just want a bit more weight out of your vocal, especially because you go to a split doubled vocal over the hook. And that softens everything quite a bit because everything else, like your acoustics are double. You have, a lot of other wide elements in the mix. So those vocals and the stacks of those vocals just get kind of lost in the background. They sound thinner. They sound nice and bright, but they sound thinner and they're kind of suppressed in the back of the mix. I would love a little bit more kind of like low mid information in that vocal, a little, probably even just turned up forward, 2 or 3 dB at the front of the mix because your bass and acoustic and your drums are carrying really well. Those drive the song really well. But I'm missing some of the separation from the vocal. I would love to get that out of those stacks because your stacks are like your main melody. It's not like a mono lead with support. Those stacks are the main melody. So I would love for those to be forward, like 2 or 3 dB supported by some of the other elements. I think you're good to go. But let's run it from the top. Let's dive into some of the details. But that is Lost in the Light by Extratone. Extratone, I love what you do. You do this style and you do this movement really, really well. Nice little double there. Again, that feels really wide, which is great for what you're doing.
It was strange, but it was perfect.
It's like even right off the bat here, you kind of get this, it was strange, it was perfect. I mean, I have like 3 compressors on my vocals, so that's part of why it still feels close. But you get this kind of far effect from the vocal right there. I would love for that to feel, 808 Austin, welcome in. I would love for that to feel a little bit closer. For it to feel a little bit more forward, a little bit more locked in. Let me see. Anyway, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. But right now, everything's kind of way back here. And so we're missing a lot of the energy out of the vocal right off the bat. Because again, what's up, Jacob? Again, a lot of the energy of the song comes through really clean and really dry and really open. Again, starting with your double-tracked acoustic guitars and some of the other layers that come in that are very direct. Landon, thanks for the follow. They come in a little bit direct. And then that vocal feels like it's a little off the mic. Whether that is actually just your positioning, your proximity to the microphone, and or just the way that it's mixed a little bit thinned out in the low mids, as well as maybe some farther proximity from the microphone. 808 Austin, we're closed for today. You can typically do the submission form that's right below you, just popped up in the chat. But we are closed for today. I can only handle a couple more songs today before I get to get out of here. But I will be live next week, probably 3 or 4 days at the very least. So definitely just make sure y'all are following. I appreciate that already. Scotland, thank you for the follow as well. Landon, thank you for the follow. We'll be live again. I don't know if I'll be live this week, and it just kind of depends on who thinks they'll be around, if they'll be on their phone at all, and kind of be around for a submission, or if they're going to be hanging out, doing other stuff. But let's run it from the top here, and we'll dive into a couple details extra. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at extra, is making sure we still get some weight and some support from that lead vocal.
It was strange, but it was perfect.
Because I love the natural just air and rasp behind your vocal. I just want to pair that with a little bit more weight in the mids and low mids so that the vocal really pushes and it has some, solid energy to it.
Familiar face I don't recognize.
Andy, thanks for the follow.
Mirror on my mind. But deep inside the world is crying. With another shallow
Chocolate Rain. Sorry, Scotland, I missed your last question. Thank you for the community heart, Andy. I appreciate it. These are like really, really interesting. What's up, Carlos? Really interesting, like fifth harmonies too that follow right here. They got a lot of tension to them, but I appreciate where they sit. I appreciate where they are. They're just far too thin. So just be aware that like you're missing a lot of the fundamental frequencies of your vocal. Like you're doing a great job. You have a good voice. There's some great writing in here as well, and some interesting structure. That song takes some twists and turns, but everything kind of takes them together. So it does feel very connected, especially for a really raw song like this. I think you're doing a great job of kind of following that and keeping everything together. But keep in mind that I still want to get a lot of great natural energy from your vocal as well. I would love for, on the far low end of your vocal, just make sure you're not high passing too high. Make sure that you are not pulling a lot of energy out of those low mids, because it is going to limit the ability for people to like connect to your vocal a little bit more, where you're missing a lot of like the weight that allows that vocal to feel like forward and actually feel like you're encountering that vocal with a little bit more vulnerability, a little bit more intention. So on on the high pass side, I just wouldn't go past like 80 or 90 hertz. Anything farther than that, you're going to really start thinning out the vocal. 80 to 90 hertz, it should be perfectly fine on the low end, as far as like a high pass or a low cut goes. And then as far as pulling energy out of the low mids, which you have a lot of here, Andy, thank you for the heart me. Between 100 and 300 hertz, you're probably a decent chunk of decibels down, maybe 4 or 5 dB down, where you're really thinning out the vocal, or you're farther from the microphone, which is also going to diffuse more of those lower frequencies. So, maybe stepping in a little bit closer, depending on if that would be helpful for you, or if that is something that you're doing, or reintroducing a little bit more of those low mids in order to regain some body and some presence from that vocal, especially between like 0 and 400, 100 and 400 hertz, where a lot of that's been carved out. There is a queue, but we are closed up for today. I got a handful of songs left, and then we're going to be out of here. But I will be live maybe this weekend for a little bit, if not, definitely next week. So just make sure if anybody wants the full consultation, or if anybody wants to get in line to get their music heard, just make sure that y'all are following, so on and so on. How close? How close to the mic is a good distance? It depends on what you're doing. I think about 10 inches or so is probably good for most. Like hearing your vocal and hearing how much you're projecting and how much energy there is behind your vocal, probably about, here, probably 10, 12 inches or so is probably going to be pretty good. Again, if I'm really close, you're going to get more. No, this is all EQ'd and stuff, but you're going to get a lot more of that low end proximity effect. You're going to get a lot more of that buildup right there. If I back up here, you can hear immediately, even though I have a bunch of compressors and EQ and stuff on my vocal, if I back up, you can hear immediately how much, small, not just distance wise, but how much thinner and smaller the vocal gets, because there's not nearly as much low end information that's hitting the microphone. Yo, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Paid for a skip, could I redeem? Yeah. If you need to go, no worries at all. If you got to go, no worries at all. Just let me know when you come back in. Let me know. Ruth, thanks for the follow as well. Let me know. Same with the other people that had to save theirs as well. If you have to go for any reason at all, next time that we go live, whether it's this weekend or early next week, just let me know that you're back. Say like, hey, I submitted the last time, and I'll pull up your name. We'll just throw it straight into the next session. What I'll probably have you do is have you submit for free, and then I'll boost you. So you can like submit the song fresh, whatever version you want. If it's a new song or anything like that, I'll just be like, okay, I remember you. I'll go and check how much you skipped, and then I'll just say submit for free, and then I'll skip you that amount so you can get in the current session. I'll make it really easy for y'all. Okay, let's get a little deeper into this here, but I want to make sure that we get all of this lined up here too. But for me, it's one of the main things, Extra Tone, is you have interesting. Sounds good. Set a timer or something. I don't know what even would be helpful. Toxic, thank you for the divine fingers. I appreciate you. But anyways, let's get a little deeper into that. But that to me is one of the main things I want you to focus on. Extra is not even the production structure, because I think you've done a pretty good job of balancing that and keeping it sounding really natural. But at the same time, vocal performance to me and vocal presence for me is one of the main ways that we're going to connect to the song, and I want to make sure that that's really clean and clear. I guess this is a great bass line. I really like the bass lines throughout the song. Its relationship to the drums is great. The energy behind your performance is great. Like I love the aesthetic that you have. So I do love these doubles. I love the stacks that you have. They're just too thin, too bright, and not forward enough. And that's where I want you to just shift the energy of your mix slightly here.
Life is nothing like the pictures. But deep inside, she's all alone.
Ghost Motion, I got you as well. Thank you so much.
Every day we fall so far. I can't believe that we always search.
Because again, that's like, it's weird, it's quirky, it's an interesting follow point for the melodies right there. I like a lot of what you're doing, man. I think it's an interesting and it's engaging. It's just going to come down to the balancing that we're doing there. I can see the link in the bio. You can't type the link here on TikTok, but the link is there. It's usually a regional issue. You can find it on Instagram. Same name, Torvik Music. Is the same link over there. But we are closed up for today, just so y'all know. So you can follow and make sure that you're in line for the next live that we do, which will be probably most likely this weekend or early next week. But the line is currently closed. Appreciate you. Thank you. I want to hear where this bass line goes really quick. I Again, these following following with your actual kick pattern and some of the drum rolls that you're doing. All of these details in the production are awesome. Those are such good details. All right, I'm gonna find this bass and where it's positioned really quick.
She posts a picture to get some love.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of this really wide energy, which is great, right? Doubles on the vocals, double tracked electrics, double tracked acoustics. Just make sure there's still some solid information in the middle. That to me is where I would probably push the bass just a little bit forward. You have a great bass line here, and that's one of the few things that I get kind of in motto down the middle of the mix. I wouldn't mind if those elements, again, we're talking through your vocal and the bass, a lot of these elements that are in the middle of the mix, I wouldn't mind if those were forward by just a little bit. Drums are nice and wide. Your guitars are tracked really nice. Your melody follows, like I said, where these elements are doing the same thing at the same time. Those are beautiful and they're executed really well. This is where I just want to make sure that the middle of the mix still fills out and it's not like we've pushed everything super, super wide and there's not a lot of weight in the middle of the mix. It'll just make it feel ungrounded. I want to make sure we still have that energy there as well. Yeah, it got moved. It got moved. Because I want to hear these lyrics. I want to feel the emotion behind the song a little bit more, and that's where I want to get a little bit more out of this. Welcome back. We talk about this all the time too, and I want to give you flowers for this as well. We talk all the time about having a distinct and clear instrumental hook and vocal hook. You have a really clean, clear vocal hook. Dun, 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 dun. That's a really clean hook. It's catchy. It's got a good melody structure. All that's great. It's repetitive. Yeah, we take instrumentals. We're closed for today, but we do typically take productions and instrumentals all the time, 100%. And you also have a really clean riff on the guitars as well that are consistent throughout the whole structure of the song, man. So just great job building in your song structure. You're doing fantastic, man. You can just add, yeah, I need to add more. I need to add more because sometimes it gets confusing where you can go. You can just add, you can like add to it. I don't know how it looks necessarily on my end because my host end is different than the other side, but yeah, you can just add like a 10. Like you just go and like, I think if you go to the tab and click on your name, you can like skip the line from your name. And it'll push it forward. Some of y'all have done it. So if some of y'all that have done it in the chat, let them know how it worked for you, because that's how other people are moving themselves forward. And I'll see it on my end. It'll be like 10 plus 10 plus 10, or like 15 plus 10 plus whatever. I'll see how they've added to it. But yeah, y'all let me know if y'all know how to do that in the chat. I don't have the audience end or whatever. I just have the host end on my side. Like that's a great riff. That's so clean. And I love the usage of, in this case, sequenced, but live drums, and with like kind of a filtered, bit crushed, I'm back, Iron has it. Red Shroom, welcome in. Good to see you. The balance between your live drums and like sampling underneath it, right? This almost like old vintage, 80s drum machine vibe underneath it in the background. I love it. It's one of the things I actually love. So I have a PSS 170 over here and a SK1. And it's one of the things I love about it is just like really shitty drums, like really, really bad sounding, like bit crushed, like filtered drums and stuff like that. It's one of my favorite parts about using those, is they sound bad on purpose in a way that can work really well in a particular mix. And so I love what you're doing with your layering here. I think it's really well executed. Y'all show some love to Extratone. Extratone, I love what you do. I love what you do. I think you're very, very talented. You have good writing on here. Your melodies are awesome. They're really, really well done. They're structured beautifully. Your dynamics are great. Your distinct melodies are awesome. For me, I just really want to get a good balance between like your panning structure sometimes, but also making sure that like your bass and your vocal as two core elements, your bass and your vocal holds weight in the mix. So we need a little bit more energy behind that, low end of that vocal performance. So it's forward, so it's energetic, and you're going to be good to go. Y'all please show some love to Extra. Just closed them up, Red. Just closed them up. I'm going to be live maybe this weekend. I don't know. We'll see. I'll try. I'll see what I have time for, but I'll probably be live maybe a little bit this weekend. Maybe Sunday morning, honestly. Maybe Sunday morning. and I'll take the rest of the day off. I need at least like a couple hours off of work. I work so much. I need a couple hours off. So I might take Sunday afternoon off and maybe do a live stream for like a couple hours, like maybe at noon Sunday. Or like 11 a.m. Central Sunday, something like that. But y'all show some love to Extra Tone. Let's keep it rolling. We got some more music to get to. I got a handful of tracks that I can do left again. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. A handful of tracks that I can get to. Like I said, it's not going to be everyone today. We'll save a couple of y'all's if that's what you want. Or of course, if you don't want them saved, that's up to you. You can always request it and it'll come back to you. Let's keep it going though. We got Ghost Motion in the building. But let me just update here real quick. All right. Dreamy indie rock ballad about figuring out life with the people you love. Let's go. Ghost Motion. Give me all of the details. Remind myself and, of course, the whole chat, the role that you play in your music. And let's get into it. I'm gonna try to move a little faster. I keep saying that, and I'm not doing it. But let's run it. This is Lost Ones by Ghost Motion.
We creep into the night up to no good. Get lost in the night. Breaking all the rules cause we wanna act cool, stand up.
And really quick, remind me really quick. It's the new band name, right? Just so I can remind my brain because my brain's all over the place. This is the new band name, right? Yeah. Okay. 100%. East of Ito is okay. I get so confused with the different that everyone's different names. I get confused with my own name. It's ridiculous. But the East of Ito, some of y'all know East of Ito, and this is the fresh band name. All right, let's get it. Sorry, I needed that quick like mental reminder here. All right, let's run it. There's no bass in yet.
Get lost in the night. Breaking all the rules cause we wanna act cool, stand up for your right.
So much space.
Under moonlight. It's time to take flight. All of the boys out for adventures. All of the girls go looking for connection. Forever young, we are the lost ones.
Nice.
We are the lost ones.
No, not last one yet.
Chosen family, try to solve the mystery of where we belong.
Good delay throw there. Tasteful.
Dancing and moving to the beat. Oh, just let them be. Under moonlight,
Great mix on the drums.
it's time
Nice
to
and snappy.
fly. All of the boys out for adventures. All of the girls go looking for connection. Forever young, we are the lost ones. We are the lost ones. Hand will fly away, will never age away.
It's a point worse because they skip past you.
Tonight, all of the boys out for adventures. All of
I got
the
you.
girls go looking for connection. Forever young,
Yeah.
we are
Line
the
is closed for today, but it's gonna be open again this weekend, hopefully.
since day
Thank you for the rose. Appreciate that.
go out for adventures. All of the girls go looking for connection. Forever young, we are the lost ones.
I got you. One sec.
We are the lost
Ooh.
ones.
Oh, I like that natural push down there. Y'all show some love, show some love, show some love. Feeling nuts over here. Please, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Show some love to Ghost Motion right here in the chat. Appreciate you so much for sending it in. Let's dive in. Let's dive in. Okay, so for those of you who are asking, caution, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that a lot. Line is closed for today. It's a shorter live today. It can only handle maybe honestly 2 more songs. It's going to be a little bit shorter and sweeter today. Everyone else will be saved for the next time that we'll go live, which will most likely be this weekend, if not early next week. But I'm going to try to do a live this weekend in between some other stuff. So I'm gonna play just a couple more songs, and then but the line is already closed. Just make sure that y'all are following either on TikTok, Twitch, or YouTube. We're live on all 3 of those right now. So just make sure that you're following. We'll make sure that we can get you in line next time as well. But yeah, we're closed up for today, and then we'll open it up again maybe Sunday. I think if I go live, it'll most likely be Sunday. If I go live, it'll most likely be Sunday. All right, let's get into it, man. Let's dive in. Sounds good. Yeah, we'll be here. And hopefully we do a lot more. Today, I'm only doing how long? I've been on for almost 2 hours. Today, I'm only doing 2.5, I say only, it's a lot, 2.5 hours or something like that. Nothing too crazy. But I'm going to try if I can finish up some other projects. I've had a ton of work. I had a ton of work. And so it's hard sometimes to get through the live when I'm doing all the other projects and stuff during the day. Toxic, thank you so much for the gifts. So I'm going to try to compartmentalize my work a little bit better this next week and get into some longer lives where we can go for 4 or 5 hours and get through a bigger chunk. But I've had too much work lately, which it's a good thing. But at the same time, it makes it harder to go live longer and get through more songs. Any faves yet? I mean, we have a lot. It's the good thing, caution, that about this live stream is it's very variety packed. We go especially if we're doing the consultation side, which we've been stuck in consultation side this whole time. When we're doing the consultations, those are 30 minutes long, 20 to 30 minutes long. We go through the track multiple times. They're so detailed. They're so analytical. We get into so much of the structure of the song that we get a lot of variety. Because this is not just I like hip hop, so all we listen to is hip hop, and I only hype up the hip hop songs or something like that, or any other genre, right? Where it's all we listen to is metal. We hype up metal, and anything that doesn't feel like metal, we're I don't know if I like it. This is a detailed long form consultation. So when people are submitting, people submit knowing they're going to get a lot of detail and a lot of nuanced, breakdowns of their stuff. And so they submit a lot of different genres. So, I mean, we've already gone through some contemporary rock. We've already gone through some hip hop. We've gone through some, instrumentals, some production, some full stuff. We're obviously getting into some, pop rock stuff here now as well. 2000 hip hop trappy, 100%. Yeah, killer. Yeah, we have tons of producers. For those of you who don't know, I'll get you bumped up next time, Romeo. I'll get you bumped up. Anyone that I save, I'm going to add at least 5 to your next submission, so you get a boost next time as well. That'll help push some more people forward. But for those of you who don't know, I work full time as an engineer, producer, and session musician. That's what I do full time. That's what I've done for the last 14 plus years. So that's kind of the structure of the live stream, is kind of looking at it from that perspective. And so for that reason, because I do work as a producer, professionally, not just doing streaming on here, but since I work at it professionally, a lot of producers still do send in instrumentals. It's not just artists. It's not just release stuff. It's not just hype. A lot of people send in unreleased works in progresses and early instrumentals and stuff like that. So we can talk about sound design and mixing and structure and stuff like that. It's a cool space, man. It's a lot of cool musicians, producers, and engineers. It's not a hype live. It's not a trash live. It's not a roast live or anything like that. It's a place where we're going to dive into the details. We're going to spend way too much time on your music, which is my downfall. Is sometimes I'll spend 40 minutes on a song. But I love it. It's what we've done for the last 3.5 years doing these live streams. So anyways, let's get back into it, man. This is Ghost Motion, the family. This is the family. 400's crazy. This is the family, man. Ghost Motion, back in the chat. Let's run it back from the top. There's a couple little details here. Honestly, and y'all are working with great people, and y'all are great musicians. Anything that I say here is nuanced. Anything that I say here is tiny little ear candy stuff that we can talk about. And I know you said you had a couple little things you were listening for as well. Gosh, I appreciate you. Thank you for the love. I appreciate that a lot. There's a couple little details in here. One is vocal dryness on lead versus ambiance, like versus backgrounds and stuff like that. I think some of the processing on lead vocal is disguising it a little bit. Now, I still want the aesthetic. I still want the vibe. You know the deal. I still want that whole movement right there. But I think some of what's happening is I'm just losing it a little bit in how much or how many different elements have different levels of ambiance. Because there is a lot of chorusing, there is a lot of reverb and a lot of delays on a lot of different things, that's not a bad thing. None of that's inherently a bad thing. But I feel like sometimes the mix gets lost in the space, and I'm missing just a little bit of the slice. Little too wet. A little bit too wet, just on the lead, I believe. Do you like Crystal Castles? I don't know if I know Crystal Castles. Nicole, good to see you. Thanks for tapping in. So let's run it from the top. We'll just talk through a couple tiny details. It's making it feel like the vocal's too quiet for me, but I don't know if the vocal is too quiet versus it just being too wet versus dry. And if we just like dried up the lead vocal by 7%, if it would give it the clarity to distinguish it better, and that might be it. Yeah, it's washed out a little bit, just a little bit. And I don't necessarily want to remove, because another option would be to like dry up the background stuff, dry out some of the guitars, maybe pull those back or whatever and give it more space in the mix. I like the vibrancy of the mix with the double track guitars. I like the vibrancy of the drums. They're snappy, they're punchy, they feel really spacious, and I like that as well. So that's why my go-to is maybe drying up the lead versus the backgrounds, and give it a little bit better clarity. That alone to me might just give you what you need, because I don't really want to change how, ambient and environmental everything else feels, because I do really like that. And so I'm trying to find out like, there's something that needs to be done, but how you go about it can really change the feel of the song. So anyways, let's run through that real quick. Because I love all of this. I love all of this chorusing and space and reverb. Like, this is great. Thank you, Constance. Been doing it a long time. So like even here, I like the space, right? So I mean, we have this beautiful lead on the right side with a bunch of reverb. I'm hearing the reso sweep on the left side. You get this, right? You can hear this nice little synth resonance sweep, filter sweep that's happening on the left side. That has a bunch of reverb on it. I love all of the space here. And the drums have a good amount of space on them too, right? Good rooms and overheads, and they're nice and wide. All of this sounds dope. All of this sounds really, really good. And so I want to be careful of like, where is kind of the line that's being crossed as far as, ambiance and being crossed as far as like wetness and reverb and stuff like that goes. And that's where I want to dig in a little bit too. Marianne, we're closed for today. We're closed, guitar for 5, piano for 10. Yeah, it'd be very subtle, extremely, extremely subtle. We're closed for today, but we're going to be live again maybe this weekend, hopefully this weekend. So like a little 1975 vibe in there too. 100% go. That makes sense. It makes sense. I mean, it's a great performance. I mean, everything else, I love it. I love it. It sounds great. It really is a beautiful production. That is always the fine line between like synth pop, dream pop, really airy, but even like, even getting into like, some of the dark wave stuff and like 80s music and like stuff like that. It's a fine balance, or even like shoegaze, like 90s shoegaze and stuff like that, which is like inherently reverberated, right? Like too much reverb, too much distortion. It's fuzzy. You know what I mean? There's always a fine line between the level of clarity that we give the mix, right? Like the level of separation and clarity we give it while making it feel really open and reflective and so on and so on. And that's what I want to make sure we have under control. Is I still want all the space, and we just need just enough. It could be even just, even side chaining that vocal to that reverb, just like 2 dB, right? It could be having a mid-side reverb or a mid-side EQ on the reverb, on that reverb bus. So when we feed it into the vocal or however you're processing it, we carve the space out of the middle of the mix for the reverb and amplify the outside of the mix for the reverb. So the reverb is like wide and washy, but in the middle of the mix, there's a bunch of space carved between 600 and 1200 hertz. Only on the reverb, no other guitars or anything. Only on the reverb, there's like the space for the vocal to kind of slice through. There's things we can do strategically in the mix to give, to carve some space for that vocal to fight for its center field and still make sure that it has plenty of energy in the mix while still getting all of that build up and all of that wash that we want.
It's time to take flight.
It's beautiful though. It's beautiful. Like here, as soon as the next layer of guitars comes in, that's where we start to lose legibility. That's where we start to lose a little bit of separation for the vocal. That to me is like it. Because I mean, I like you mentioned the guitars. I don't know the other. You were talking about like a shift that you did with the chorusing on the guitars, or the two chorus, maybe the chorus itself, chorus guitars. I don't mind on this first listen kind of where these different elements are sitting here. The one thing I want is a little bit better separation for the vocal, but the vast majority of this sounds beautiful. Sounds really, really nice, man. I mean, y'all should be so proud of this. Y'all are crushing it with the new band. Y'all are doing so many amazing things with y'all's music. Man, keep it up. There's like a guitar arpeggio and a higher rhythm guitar. Yeah, if there are two things there, it's very difficult to distinguish. So that might be Hawkeye. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. That would probably be where separation is going to be kind of the name of the game for y'all, because if there are multiple layers there, they're very, very challenging to distinguish, probably because of reverb and whatever other stuff, right? And so I think that panning structure and that the wetness versus dry and what you give more energy to. So like on the lead high, like strumming pattern that you're doing, you could probably have that with a bunch of openness. You could probably have that with, a bunch of reverb and a bunch of processing. The arpeggio, the vocal's a big part of it. The arpeggio as well. So if there's a boom boom dun, 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 boom, I think there's like a high picking pattern that's happening. You might dry those up, because if there's movement on a high arpeggio for the guitar, but there's a bunch of reverb on it disguising the transitions between notes, you'll lose those notes a little bit. That might be also why you're losing some of the separation right there. So again, it's like have crazy sounding background vocals with a ton of reverb, maybe a little bit drier lead, still reverb, but a little bit drier lead. Maybe have the main, rhythm higher, but higher rhythm electric guitars, a little bit more reverb and chorus and a bucket brigade on there and all of that stuff. And then maybe have the arpeggio a little bit cleaner, a little bit easier to kind of distinguish and pick out of the mix. Still reverbed and chorused maybe, but a little bit cleaner and a little bit drier. That kind of push and pull of just keeping largely, what you want still there, but really playing with exactly how it happens there is, I think, going to be really important for y'all. S, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think it's what's happening is just a couple layers of your lead elements are getting washed out. I think that's the thing that's happening, is like if there's an arpeggio there, you don't know it really. Maybe I can hear a note transition here and there, but it's getting kind of washed out by its own reverb, layers of other reverbs, the vocals reverb, it's all, it all, presents itself in the mix. Same with the lead vocal, right? It's like the lead vocal right there is awesome. It's a fantastic lead vocal, but probably disguised by, washed by some of the other layers and stuff that are happening there. Yeah, dude, it sounds so good. Toxic, 100%. Yeah, I mean, all of this is like, the reason why I'm saying all of this too is because I really love that lead vocal, and I really, really would love to hear that high arpeggio on the guitar, but it's being washed out, and it really does sound good. Like it is a great presentation. Caution, we're light is closed for today, but we're going to be live again probably sometime this weekend. So just make sure, I think you're already following. I appreciate you so much. But yeah, we're going to be live again this weekend. But we just have like maybe 2 more songs and then we're out of here. But I appreciate you so much for tapping in. Everyone else is going to be saved. I got a bunch of other people in here that I gotta save as well. So the next time I go live, if I know, because sometimes I don't know when I'm going to go live because I have a bunch of other projects. So like before I go live, I just do these lives after all of my other work. So I'll spend, the majority of the day producing, doing session work for, synths and stuff like that. And then I'll get on the live for just, a couple hours at the end. So sometimes I don't know exactly when I'm going. If I do know when this weekend, I'll pre-schedule. Why aren't we your priority? Because I got to prioritize the other stuff that are more time sensitive. The live I can kind of pop up on anywhere and get things moving. But the other stuff is much more time sensitive, where I'm like, I got to finish a revision by Tuesday because they're sending it to the label or whatever. That's where it gets fun. But yeah, if I do know that I'll go live like Sunday morning or something like that, Sunday, 11 a.m., 10 a.m. or something like that, then I hit records to make. Yeah. Then I'll pre-schedule it and I'll post on my stories saying that you can go stream. We might still get to yours, Romeo. I'm just not positive exactly where it is because I only have a couple here, and some people are not staying for theirs. We might save theirs too. So I'll see what we have. I'll see what we have time for. But let's get into this. The last part of the song here really quick. You can just hear 2 minutes of mine. with a really quick feedback. Yeah, if that's all you want, and that's up to you. So I mean, you're the one playing. So whatever you want to get out of this is your submission. So if we want to run yours, and we'll just do it really quick. We'll play through what you want me to play through. Yeah, totally up to you, man. I mean, it's your submission, right? Because I know, what I say I typically do is these 20-minute, long breakdowns. But if that's not what you're wanting, that's up to you. But you still wanted to skip the line, you can 100% do that. That's up to you. Whatever you feel like would be valuable, man. We'll dive into it. Love these bass. We got some great bass lines today. It's sounding great.
Take my hand, we'll fly away. We'll never age away to never let.
Yeah, exactly. It's tempting. We're like, well, I'm right there.
Tonight,
I got you.
all of the girls go looking for connection. Forever young, we are the lost ones, born to run since day. All of the boys, they go out for
I love it.
adventures. All of
I love the kind of da da da. There's some outside layers. I mean, there's a lot of like really nice like filler and counter melody in here. Like again, I mean, y'all know the deal, Ghost Motion. I mean, y'all are awesome. Y'all are so talented. Y'all do a great job. A little bit of clarity goes a long ways. Angel, thanks for the follow. But y'all are doing so much that's so good. It's so tasteful. It's professional. It's polished. Seriously, fantastic job.
girls go looking for connection. Forever young, we are the lost ones. We are the lost ones.
Man, show some love. Show some love to the family. Show some love to the family. Ghost Motion, love and appreciate what y'all do. Amazing, amazing job. Please go. Oh, no, I forgot to say this before as well. The song is out on platforms. So if you like what you hear, and you should, if you like what you hear, go like it, go stream it, go add it to your playlist, go follow on Spotify, follow the band page here on social media, of course, anywhere that you can find them. Show them some amazing love and support. Go boost their algorithm. This is a fresh band. I've heard their last band, and they were also fantastic. And this is a revision of what they were doing and kind of a rehoning of their vision for the band and where they want to go. So I'm excited for y'all. Keep doing what you're doing. Seriously. You can also, I mean, I'm talking about the technical things because it's what I'm passionate about. It's what I love to do in these lives. At the same time, step back. It's a beautiful song. It's a well-produced record. It's balanced well for, even without some of the clarity stuff we're talking about. It's really good to listen to. So definitely be confident in what y'all are doing. It's amazing. Y'all, please show some love. That is Lost Ones by Ghost Motion. All right, really quick. Okay, I have a quick question here. Toxic, I know you were in the chat. Toxic, real quick. I got Toxic and Certified. I got you in here as well. Let me just double check a few things here real quick. Okay, just a quick note right here. And again, you can 100% say no, and that's your right because you submitted first. I have Ruchi, I see you. I have Certified Tron and I have Toxic. Y'all are both in the same spot. Now Toxic you submitted first, so yours is in the spot that it's in. I'm curious because certified only wants a quick play. They don't even necessarily want to do the full breakdown. They just want to do a quick play and maybe like I'll give some notes at the end. We can talk through a couple quick things, but it's not going to be a 30-minute breakdown. And I know they're wanting to go too. Would you mind if I played them first? So y'all are in the same spot. Just timing's the only difference. It would just be a quick listen. Would you mind if I played them first? That way they can clear theirs, and that's a lot faster. And yours will be right after that. If not, you submitted first, so you can go, even though y'all are in the same spot, you submitted first, we can definitely do it. You don't have to feel any pressure. You don't have to feel any pressure at all. I don't want to like put a pressure on you. Like, well, if I say no, I'm an ass. No, literally you submitted first. So totally fine by you. If you're positive, just cause I know they need to go quick and they're only doing a short breakdown. So I thought I'd ask just if it would help them out in the chat a little bit as well. Yeah, I'll see what we can get to, Ruchi, or if I have to save yours as well. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that a lot. Y'all show some love to Toxic. That's very kind. That's very kind. Okay, let's go. Certified Tron, 18 years of experience in music. I went to Loyola University for music. I have kids now, and this is my way of expressing myself. Hope to sell my music to big artists one day. I could never. And hopefully, Certified, I know you've been here a couple times. I'm not the person to hate. I'm not the person to trash you for the way that the methodology with which you go about making your music. That's just not me. I'm a fan of people being able to express themselves in different mediums. So I hope that never comes across that way. Even if I talk about my concerns about certain things, or I talk about things that bother me within the structure, I hope it never comes across as like personal attacks or anything like that. I don't feel like that's true to me. So I want to make sure that that's clear as well. I want to do my best to make sure that I show proper respect to anybody. No matter how you go about what you do, I still respect the person, right? I'm just a positive vibe person. That's all. I appreciate it. All right, this is Certified Tron. It's called Cosmic. I know you're one thing that you told me is that you are using AI to help with some of your production. So if you could give me clarity on what that means, let me know. As far as, are you inputting and then it's all there, or are you using it to just like make a flute in the background? Like, talk to me a little bit about your process. That'll give me some clarity on what I'm listening to. And then, like you said, this is going to be a quick breakdown. So we'll see how long it is, but we'll listen to a couple minutes of it and then talk through some of the details there. And if there's anything you want me to focus on, let me know. Polish singer Popek. I'm not familiar. What's up, Derek Bennett? What's up? Good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. I'm not familiar with the Polish singer. I'm not. 18 years of writer. Let's get it. Sorry to hear that, man. Sorry to hear that. Kind of the same, to be honest with you, man. So hope it looks up.
Pennies on the floor. I need you on rotation. You can be my star.
Sorry, I gotta pause for a second. I'm stupid and my brain is just completely out of it right now. For a second, I thought you said pennies. So like I was like, and I don't know why this makes no sense. It's not because of what you did. I thought you said pennies, and so I was just like you're walking around a Walmart parking lot, and you just like found pennies on the floor. You're like, look, I found things. And then the lyrics started taking a turn in a different direction. I was like, wait, hold on. I don't think that's what we're talking about. All right, let me back it up for a second. I don't think we're talking about pennies on the Walmart parking lot floor. I think we're talking about something different. All right, let's get. Also, yeah, this is where my brain's at right now. Then the beat hit different. I was like, oh, something else is on the floor. Let's go. All right, let's back it up. My bad. I gotta focus. I'm losing my mind.
Pennies on the floor. I need you on rotation. You can be my star. Come show me your dedication. Like a moth to a flame, I burn for you, no hesitation. Hands been calling your name, so come on over, don't keep me waiting. Don't keep leading me on. Take off that dress, let down your hair.
The music video is him flipping coins. It's so fun, Romeo.
Baby, I don't need no medication. Just that body, it gets my head right.
Yeah, of course. Vibe is great, man.
Don't keep leading me on. Take off that dress, let down your hair.
one of the things we'll pause it there. One of the things that I like about the way that you have actually structure this, not struggle this. What am I saying? The way they've actually structured this is there are good melody pockets and rhymes that happen. The thing that's like so brutal sometimes about when you're listening to generated music, and again, everyone's got a different perspective on that, is it's like so obvious. It's like so obvious what it is. Like, because everything just feels like kind of out of place, right? Like everything feels like it's like so doesn't make sense and doesn't rhyme. And they have to like, you gotta like, speed up a whole bunch of words to kind of like make this rhyme kind of happen, or they just hold on one note for like randomly too long in order for you to like hear kind of what's happening and for it to re-drop again. Love Daisy. There's the AI shimmer. Yeah, it's the aliasing at the top. You get the fuzz. I mean, that's inevitable, right? You get the fuzz and the aliasing and that high end, excitement at the top of the mix. Yeah, it all has that. It all has that. That's pretty typical. But that's the thing that I like certified is the way that you have actually written and structured the lyrics, and then however you were able to input that. Those dun 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 dun. Those repetitive melody structures right there are really, really well done. Like these AABA melody structures are really, really well established to the point where it actually does feel catchy. It actually does feel like there's consistent lyric structure and melody structure that fits the song. It doesn't feel like it's like changing the whole time and completely out of place. So like elements like that, I feel like you've done a great job of actually writing some of those things in. I would love for you to, I mean, I don't know how much of the rest of it, I would love just from a clarity standpoint, a publishing standpoint, a rights standpoint, a payment standpoint, I would love for you to get with like an artist. Like, I don't know if you know Stakes on here. I would love for you to get with a vocalist. And because this is not a complex beat, this is a fairly simple classic 90s R&B beat. I would love, Stakes, I would love for you to get like with a vocalist like Stakes who can do this. Stakes can actually sing this. Not everyone can. Stakes can actually sing something like this, and get like a simple production on this, because this has the potential, because your writing is good. This has the potential to go farther than even what you're currently doing. And I would love to see that happen for you. And again, I'm not trying to put pressure on you to do that or to find that. I mean, obviously do it continues to feel fulfilling and fun for you when it comes to making music. That's obviously perfectly fine. But I would love for you to be able to get placement. I would love for you to get publishing rights. I would love for you to get mechanical movements and stuff like that. I would love for you to be able to split a sync fee. All of those things that right now, although it sounds pretty good, you have the artifact and it's there and you can't really do a whole lot about that. But because of some of that structure, you are held back. You're suppressed a little bit with your ability to really push this out there. You said you're making some money with it now. That's great. I'm proud of you for doing that. But I think there's a whole other level that you could potentially go to, and I would love to see that happen for you. And all it comes down to is like finding that vocalist and finding someone who can just do some basic sine wave, basses, some classic R&B drums, and some beautiful chorus, guitars over the top of it. This is a late 90s, late 80s, early 90s R&B feel that I just think is so fun, man. Using AI to basically train and use working with artists is only going to 100%. Exactly, Romeo. Exactly. Because the structure is there. Yeah, 100%, man. Certified. Thank you, man. I appreciate you setting this in. You can tell. And again, people send me a lot of AI, man. Or not a lot. I wouldn't say a lot, but let's say a song alive. So 8 to 10% or something. You know what I mean? Like I usually listen to anywhere from like 10 to 15 songs 10 to 15 songs alive. And I would say, at least one of those is probably, depending on the live, depending on who submits, obviously, but it is going to be something that at least has some AI in it, or someone who's trying to pass something on as AI, or someone who's openly using AI and they want to, they're using the AI and they're open about it and they're honest about the process that they're going through to make their music. But in this, so I know what it's like when someone says, I wrote this. I do the lyrics. AI just makes demos for me. Dude, I've heard it all. I know what it sounds like. And you can tell when someone just put some BS into there and it outputted every single thing, and it reads like shit and it sounds like shit and it's horrible. You can tell when there's no intention at all and no knowledge of the process. Is it Mamir? Am I saying that correctly? Thanks for tapping in. I appreciate you being here. You can tell when there's no knowledge of song structure, no knowledge of how to build, a song and build, input that makes sense. And so I can appreciate one of the things, as much as I love I love playing synths and I love, playing guitars and finding the right mic and the right guitar and the right pedals and the right whatever. I love that process for myself. I can appreciate that there actually is some structure and there actually is some knowledge of what you're doing in order to build the structure that you're doing. So y'all, please show some love to Certified Tron. I appreciate you so much, y'all. I got time for two more. Currently, let's see, Mick. Or Mike, not Mick. I keep saying Mick. Sorry, I don't know why I keep saying that. No, if you were doing that, Caution, you'd still be behind 20 other people that wanted to do that. So if I were to play yours, that'd be actually moving you past 25 other people. There's no way I could do that, especially since I've already closed the line. If I were to put like yours in that list just because it's short, it would still be behind those other 20. Yeah, because even though I'm only listening to 2 more, there's still 3 more consultations and 20 other free submissions. So I would have to be skipping a whole bunch of people to drop that in there. Okay, let's. So people don't get it if something isn't AI and they are present about. Thank you so much for letting me go. Have a blessed weekend. 100%. Yeah. 100%. All right, y'all, show some love, man. Certified Tron, I appreciate you so much, man. I appreciate you so much. Thank you for sending that. Thank you for sending that in. We got Toxic Mike in the building. It's an unreleased song. My name is Toxic Mike. Please keep correcting me. I'm probably gonna call you Mick another 2 times or something, but I'm not trying to. Toxic Mike. I'm gonna get it right. Where the wind sleeps. Give me all the details. Toxic Mike. Talk to me about the role that you play, Mike. If I say it like I'm angry and I'm convincing myself, not that I'm mad. I'm in San Antonio, Texas, currently speaking. I would love to get out, but yes, my wife and I were in Dallas for a couple years at a small studio up there. Then we moved back to San Antonio just because a lot of our family is here. And then I built my studio out of the home that we're in currently. Energy is strong with this one. All right, let's get it. Yeah, Toxic Mike, give me the details on the song. I think it's just a file right now, so just give me some info. Let's get into it. Cool. Talk to me about production, mix, stuff like that.
Woke up feeling lighter on my feet.
Oh, this is AI too, right?
I don't care where this moment goes. Nothing trying to pull us back tonight. Everything just feels alright. I lean in. Where the wind sleeps, come and carry me higher than I've ever been. Just the sky and me. Where the wind sleeps,
voices, okay. But the production you produce, talk to me about how you're producing and stuff.
Take me where the daylight ends, where the wind sleeps. Lost the weight I used to wear. Now there's nothing in the air. Every breath comes naturally, like it always wanted me. I'm whoever I want to be. I lean in. Where the wind sleeps, come and carry me higher than I've ever been. Just the sky and me.
No worries. Take your time. No pressure.
Everything feels free. Take me where the daylight ends, where the wind sleeps. Breathe in, let it go. Feel the air, take me home. Where the wind sleeps, come and carry me higher than I've ever been. Just the sky and me. Where the wind sleeps.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Y'all show some love. Show some love. Mario, line is closed. We got one more song after this. One more song after this, depending on who's here. I don't know who it's going to be. It just depends on who's actually in the chat still, because we have a couple people that aren't going to be here right now. But we have just one more song after this, and everyone else I'm gonna have to save for another live. It depends on who's still here in the chat. But either way, we're gonna be live again probably sometime this weekend. Thank you for the donut as well. I appreciate that a lot. Thank y'all for the love today, man. Y'all have been awesome. The music's been great. So let's get into it. So let me see. And then Toxic Mike, yeah, feel free. Like you said your English is not too good. No worries at all. I don't want to pressure you at all. I'm in it with FL Studio Producer Edition. Beautiful, beautiful. We got not this weekend. I know I'm not doing anything for 4th of July. Hallermouth, welcome in. Good to see you, man. Anthony, welcome in. I'm not doing anything for 4th of July that I know of. I just have a lot of work. I'm working constantly all the time. It never ends. I just start crying on the live. It never ends. I have a ton of work that I have to do, so I won't be. I'm just trying to decide if I'm able to do any live streaming this weekend. I've really got to catch up on some of the projects, and work on some session stuff. I'm ordering a couple synths tonight. I need to make sure I get my routing and everything set up in the studio because I have a bunch of new gear coming in this week. So I just have like a lot of stuff I got to do in the studio. So I'll probably not be live tomorrow. I'm assuming no one's going to be on tomorrow. Yeah, Jordan. If you're especially if you're in the free line, if you're in the paid line, I'll have you. You can resubmit, but you'll submit free, and I'll push you up. If you're in the free line, yeah, you just have to resubmit because it's gonna be different every time. Because a whole bunch of different people come in, some people stay, some people don't hang out for any longer. So it'll be a different line every time. First I made the beat, and then with help of friends because I know what I hear in my head. Thank you for the follow, Mario. I appreciate that a lot. Okay, but let's run it from the top. Let's dive into some of the details here. Pop artist D&D or D&D pop artist. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. But yeah, because otherwise, if I kept it the same line, it would also be the same from the live before and the live before. And there's usually anywhere from like 20 to 40 free submissions each live. So if we did it that way, it would actually be worse for y'all, because that means you could potentially be like number 78 on the list then, just because I'm stacking it for multiple lives day over day. So it's just better for everybody if you just come in and submit fresh. And if I have an opportunity to get to more of those free throughout the live, especially if it's a longer live, I definitely will. Every couple songs, I'll dip to the free one really quick. But today and yesterday, they're shorter lives, so I'm trying to get through more of the people that have done the consultation. So I know it's a little bit limited. And they know how to do it on the programming. 100% Toxic, 100%. So, but all of the is what I'm hearing is all of the production elements y'all have created on FL Studio. The only thing that was generated is the vocal. Am I hearing that correctly? That's what it sounds like to me too. Most of the other stuff in the background sounds programmed. Like you actually have some, and the lyrics are 100%. Yeah, the melodies and like lyrics are actually really consistent. So that does feel more natural, even though the vocal itself is generated. You could get a vocalist on here, 100%. This is an easy song. It's an easy song. I would love for you to get a vocalist on here. Then you get the rights to everything, man. But because the production's interesting, it just needs, I think, another 1 or 2 layers to fill it out a little bit more. I would love to get some chords. We have like a solid bass and this high arpeggio that I think sounds great. It's like a digital guitar arpeggio. I love those melodies and the harmonies to them. I think are beautiful. I think they're really, really cool. We need to fill out the middle of it just a little bit with like maybe a nice chord synth, like a Juno, like kind of the one I have back there, like a Juno right there I think would be beautiful. If not that, maybe a dark piano or something like that would be really nice. So let's run it from the top. Let's dive into a couple details, and then whoever I have in here that is in there we'll be closing us out. So it just kind of depends on who I still have in the chat here, and then everyone else, of course, I'll get you saved. All right, let's get it. This is Toxic Mike, Where the Wind Sleeps. Let's run it from the top. It's my voice, Erica. Okay, cool. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean.
Fell asleep with nowhere else to be.
Welcome in. Welcome in.
Woke up feeling lighter on my feet. I don't care where this moment goes. Nothing trying to pull us back tonight.
What's up, Dan? Welcome in, man. Thank you. I mean, always, man. Thank you for your generosity. I appreciate it so much. Salutations to you as well. I appreciate you tapping in. Okay, so you have this again. All right? We have this like high, arpeggiator that's happening with the guitar sample in the background here. And again, for those of you who are curious, only the vocal is generated. They sing into it. And that's where, Timothy, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Or hi Mothi or Himothy, son of God, welcome in. These I sing and then AI made it better. I couldn't get the little voice cracks. 100%. And this is where I think since you do have a real natural production. Like you do have a real nice organic production here. I feel like in that sense, it'd be pretty easy for you to find a vocalist that you could do this in and then just splits. Just do feature splits on it as the producer, like executive producer of the record. And then from there, get someone else on the lead vocal right there. This is a simple song. You can build out the production just a little bit more, and then you'll get a lot more opportunity for it, a lot more exposure for it, and a lot more, as far as like commercial opportunity and stuff too. You're gonna have a lot more potential, more money, everything. So I think it would be or embrace the cracks and send it to a good engineer who can melodize some things and do some tasteful adjustments to some things, and then I think you'll be good to go. But it's a simple progression here, but I like it.
Fell asleep with nowhere else to be. Woke up feeling lighter on my feet.
Like B section, I would love to hear.
I don't care where this moment goes. Nothing trying to pull us back tonight. Everything just feels alright. I lean in.
And like
Lean in.
close it up here.
Lean in.
And then
Where
chorus.
the wind sleeps, come and carry me higher than I've ever been. Just the sky and me.
Just something to fill in, right?
Wind sings, everything feels free. Take me where the daylight ends, where the wind sleeps. Lost the weight I used to wear. Now there's nothing in the air.
Because what I want to hear dynamically from this song is that there's some more push and pull of the dynamics. Because right now it's very much the same bass and guitar layer. That's really all that's there, and it's simple and it's clean. Actually, I really like it. I really don't mind how consistent and those chops are. It's kind of an interesting identity of the song, but I like it. I do like the way that it sounds. It would be nice to have some additional parts to kind of fill in, especially on the hook. I could definitely hear some Jon Bellion, 100%. Yeah, I don't mind, especially because a lot of it is like sample chops. It's dun 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 dun. You're getting a lot of re-triggering of samples, and that definitely to me reminds me of that Jon Bellion space, because Jon Bellion produces like 90% of his entire songs, including his vocals, on an MPC like XL. Like the whole thing. Is it Gupili? Thank you, or Gupili. Thank you so much for the roses. I appreciate it. Not today. We're closed up for today. I have one more song today, but we'll be back live probably this weekend. Maybe, probably, hopefully this weekend. But thank you so much for tapping in. I really appreciate you being here. So y'all, if y'all want your music broken down, just make sure that y'all are following, and we'll go live again. Hopefully in a couple days. Let me see. Okay, let me back it up here. But yeah, what I want to do is to fill out the progression on the hook specifically. 1/3, back to the 5, and back to the 1. I want to fill out that progression so that when it's not there, the verse feels even more intimate. And then when it does kick in, it gives you this nice openness. So I'm going to back it up to the hook here.
I lean in, lean in, lean in. Where the wind sleeps, come and carry me higher than I've ever been. Just the sky and me. Where the wind sleeps,
So it feels a little fuller here.
everything feels free. Take me where the daylight ends, where the wind sleeps.
And then empty for the verse.
Lost the weight I used to wear. Now there's nothing.
So now we have some dynamic range where the song feels closer. Open it up a little bit. A synth comes in here to follow the chord. Follows it right there. A little Juno synth. Here's your pre again. Let this open it up. 1, 2, 3.
Where the wind sleeps,
Fill out again.
come and carry me.
Has a little more weight, a little more warmth.
Just the sky and me. where the wind sleeps. Everything feels free. Take me where the daylight ends, where the wind sleeps. Breathe in,
Let off.
let it
So we're using that piano or another synth to make it feel bigger, make it feel tighter, so on and so on.
where the wind sleeps.
And then we're back to hook again.
Come and carry me.
So we back it up here,
Feel the air. Take me home.
back.
Where the wind sleeps. Come and carry me.
Using that piano to push and pull a little bit more.
Just the sky and me.
And maybe a counter melody.
Where the wind sleeps. Everything feels free. Take me where the daylight ends. Where the wind sleeps.
And you pull again. Just having the piano, maybe one counter melody, maybe a couple other elements in there. Just using one instrument, and I would maybe have more, but just using one instrument to push and pull a little bit more right there. It makes the song feel, more vibrant, more warm, more engaging, more energetic when the hook kicks in, and also makes those verses feel more punchy because there's more of a contrast between when more elements are in on the hook and when more of those elements are removed during your verses, so on and so on. So that's where, you don't have to use a piano. You don't have to even use anything that sounds like this. I think you could use some chords on, I really like the Juno for stuff like this. DJ, thanks for the follow. I think you could use something like a DX7 or a Juno for some nice, warm, brassy synth chords in the background to follow the same progression as the guitar and the bass on the hook. I think you could use, I do think this piano sounds nice. I do think that sounds nice. It's nice and warm as well. I think there's a lot of options creatively that y'all can decide what would be, what would sound best. It really just depends on what you want out of the song. Do you want it more acoustic sounding, or do you want it more kind of sampled sounding, right? Like in the background, a lot of that other stuff is really, a lot of the other stuff in the background is re-triggered, right? So the guitar and the bass, you're hearing the kind of digital artifact of the re-triggering of those samples. So like someone mentioned John Bellion earlier, since he uses an MPC, that's a lot of what happens in his music, even with his vocals, where he's re-triggering samples and different parts of a sample. And it sounds cool. It's a unique kind of electronic effect that can give you a particular aesthetic that you want, or it can be something that's interrupting something you don't want. So you have to kind of decide: do you want something that's like, this is really warm and really natural, to the 1/3, back to that 5. That sounds like, very organic and really natural. Do I have any other? I appreciate you. Thank you. Let me see. What do I have on here? That's crazy sounding. Where's my Juno? So just as an example, let me mute my piano really quick. Very eerie and dreamy. Okay, so if you want eerie and dreamy, let me pull up this Juno right here, and I'm gonna make a couple adjustments here because the decay on here is too short. But I'm gonna show you what the slower attack and a little bit longer sustain on the envelope. No, not that. You're talking about the, what is it? Whatever, you get the idea. Okay. So now we're gonna bring down, so we're slower attack. This is what's gonna make it more brassy. Get the, that's what we're looking for. Open up the decay a little bit, Second, we're gonna go second circuit chorus. And then we're gonna lower the frequency and the cutoff. Beautiful. So now we're gonna have this. Come on, I love the Juno. Mine's just not plugged in right now. I'm using the plugin right now. But that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I love this thing. It's even better. It's even better on the real synth. It's just not plugged in because I'm rearranging everything in the studio. But what DAW to use? I use Pro Tools. Right now, this is an Arturia plugin, but I use Pro Tools. So okay, so now let's go into this hook again, right?
Carry me when sleep come, take me home where the wind sleeps. Come and carry me higher than I've ever been. Just the sky and me where the wind sleeps. Everything feels free. Take me where the daylight ends.
Little counter melodies.
Sleeps.
I'm gonna open it up more. We're having fun. More resonance. I started with Reaper GarageBand. Was Pro Tools started? No, I mean, to be honest with you, I learned Pro Tools when I was 12. I learned Pro Tools when I was like 12, 13 years old. So I've just done it for so long. I don't think it was hard I think the interface is really straightforward. Whether there's parts of it that are frustrating, like MIDI input and stuff like that, for a long time it was to me. I use it all the time, so it's not difficult for me. I don't think it was hard to learn. I don't necessarily know why people say that it is. I think just things are in different parts. Learning a new DAW is just kind of hard. You know, like I've used Ableton, I've used Logic, I've used Studio One, I've used Reason, I've used a lot of, FL Studio. I've used a lot of these for different reasons and different parts of my job, depending on what I'm doing. And it's just hard to learn something different. It's hard to be like, oh yeah, this is where my vocal is routed to on Pro Tools, and then I hop over to FL Studio, and it's like, oh, here's your fader for this, but the fader is not attached to the track that's in the playlist. But the playlist, you have to like sync it to the one on the fader, but the faders aren't even numbers. So you actually don't know which tracks are there because as soon as you open it up, there's infinite tracks there somehow. And like, things like that, they're just unfamiliar. So you got to, it just takes a little bit of a learning curve. But I think Pro Tools is great. I've used it for forever. And I have FL Studio. I've used a bunch of other stuff, but I like it a lot. Okay, so. All right, now I'm going to bring this up a little bit, and I'm also going to, we're also going to go here. Yeah, I agree. All right, so let's back this up for a second, just to play it.
Come and care, just let me let it go. Feel the air, take me home where the wind sleeps.
Start low.
Come and carry me
just following.
Higher than I've ever been. Just the sky and me.
And then counter melody.
Where the wind sleeps. Everything feels free. Take me where the daylight ends. Where the wind sleeps.
There's so many. There's so many different ways that you can go. Introduce a little bit of modulation or a little bit of LFO to give it a little movement. There's so many ways that you can do it too. But anyways, so all that's kind of besides the point. It's not necessarily the thing that has to happen. But I think the idea. Let me bring this down. Bring this the release down a little bit so this filter closes sooner, and it closes lower. Longer decay, lower release. There we go. You know what I mean? Let's go lower again, just for the sake of, fleshing this out a little bit. This is simple. And if that's over, just again, even like your ending lines, that's nice and warm, you're not doing too much. Maybe this and a high piano octave.
Everything feels the daylight where the wind sleeps.
Even just that, I mean, that's too loud and it's not mixed in, it's too bright. I would lower the resonance. But you get the idea of having an element to fill in the middle right there makes a dramatic difference in the way that you like perceive the song. Because without it, it's just too open. Without it, there's not enough information to like warm up the middle of the mix. We got bass, we got lead arpeggio, and nothing in the middle to open it up. So one of the main things, for one, is see if you can find a vocalist to get on here, man. Like seriously, it has all the potential. Or do it yourself with a little bit of vocal editing or whatever would make sense for you. I think that would be really valuable because I do think it's a well-written song. It's good, simple melody structure, good dynamics, and the production has so much potential. It's just a little simple. It's just a little bit stripped down. I think it just needs some warmth. It needs some movement. It needs some modulation and some chorusing, some reverbs in the background to kind of open up the song structure a little bit more. But I think so much of what you already have here is like simple and it's punchy, but it's executed well. It's just going to take, I think, a little bit of sauce. A little bit of sauce, you know what I'm saying, to kind of open it up a little bit. And I think that's where a really soft felt upright piano may be paired with like a Juno 106 or a Jupiter or even like a DX7 or something like that to kind of soften up the middle range there, give it some shimmer and give it some openness. And then I feel like you'll be in a great space. Marcus is in the building. That was Toxic Mike, a couple in the chat right above you. Y'all show some love to Toxic Mike. Show some love, show some love, show some love. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Okay, really quick. I got time. Let me see. I need to check something real quick. Let me see. Okay, yeah, I got time for one more. Toxic Mike, you're amazing. Thank you so much. Fallon's not here. Aiton, let me know if you're here. Real quick. Really briefly, and then we'll move on. Marcella, we're closed for today, but we're going to be live this weekend. We're going to be live potentially be live this weekend. I can't wait, Toxic. I really like what you're doing. I think the production is really engaging. Thank you for the dolphins, Toxic Mike. I appreciate you so much. Bobita, welcome and appreciate you joining the stream. I hope you're doing amazing today. Not Romeo, it's your time to shine. Not Romeo, it is your time to shine. I'm not waiting around. Let's keep it rolling. This is Over Again by Not Romeo. Let's get into it. Give me all the details, Romeo. Give me all the details. Sounds good. It's loading up. We'll give it a sec. Sounds good. Raw Fix, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Song's about a girl, of course. All right, let's get into it. It's loading. Let me refresh. I'm going to refresh. It's loading right now. Okay, session's closed. Perfect timing. Welcome in, y'all. Appreciate y'all tapping in.
I got people keeping tabs on me from distance.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
And shame on me for thinking things I said might overflame when it's just fiction. If you look away, you'll miss it. It was with you in the room, half hungover in the kitchen, saying goddamn. If you asked me to dance back then, I denied. Now it ruin the floors to turn your head. Sounds stupid asking why? Over again. We don't drink on Mondays like we used to. And it's 500 miles from your own.
What's up, Grady? Good to see you.
Babe, I said growing up's placebo. We're no different till I change perspective. Couldn't tell you why it went that way.
Have you ever listened to Johan Lennox? Dude, it's so good to see you. I appreciate you tapping in. Thank you for the follow, Bubby.
Wipe the slate clean, but you can't erase my head. Well, to say I loved you, I did.
I got a song for you. I want you to check out.
That way, so you were all in. You can wipe the slate clean, but you can't erase my head. Well, to say I loved you, I did. leave it on the doorstep, leave me in a bad way. Told me you were all in, and I'm not yet.
Check out that song, Not Romeo. I think you'll like, he's a like genius, prodigy musician. And his music doesn't always reflect that, but I think you'll like his production. He's a very, very talented producer. His engineer is Will Ounsbach, which if y'all are on TikTok in the engineering community, you'll know who that is, but Greasy Will engineers him. It's a solid duo. He's super talented.
If you asked me to dance back then, I denied. Now I would ruin the floors to turn your head. So stupid, ask why?
Angie, welcome in.
Over again.
Let's go. Y'all show some love. Show some love. Show some love. That's the family of Not Romeo in the building. Let's run it back. Let's run it from the top. Let's dive into some details. But yeah, check out again, like Johan's one of those artists where like some of their music, like they're a brilliant musician. I don't feel like all of their music reflects that. Sometimes it feels really, really simple. But When Morning Comes by Johan is a really cool song structure. It's an intro song. But I think you'll appreciate his like vocal timbre. You'll appreciate like his processing, and obviously what Will did on the mix is really interesting too, where it's like really distorted, and there's a lot of really interesting processing that I feel like you'll be able to relate to. So check out that song whenever you have a chance, and I feel like you'll be able to appreciate a lot of what they did, and even be able to be like, oh, that's how I can do what I'm doing without it feeling so harsh or abrasive or whatever it may be. And I think you'll be able to kind of mirror some of their production quality, which would be cool. Angie, thank you for the follow. Yeah, for those of you who are interested in submitting, we are closed for today. I'm going to try to be live sometime this weekend, maybe Sunday morning. We'll see. I'm going to try to be live, but I just got a whole bunch of work I got to do. So if you are wanting to submit, just make sure that you're following either on Twitch, YouTube, or TikTok, or subscribed where it makes sense. And we'll try to get to a lot more songs that next time as well. For intentional, 100%. So let's get into it, man. Let's dive into a couple details here. This already sounds better, Romeo. It already sounds better. So let's dive in. Let's run it from the top, and then we're going to close it up here.
I got people keeping tabs on me from distance.
Hold on. I have a kind of an interesting idea. I'm not trying to throw a wrench in your system either, so don't, feel free to ignore half of what I say.
I got people keeping tabs on me from distance. And shame on me for thinking.
Is the are you playing that every time, the acoustic guitar? Are you playing it every time, or is it looped? Looped. Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I got people keeping tabs
I like that.
on me from distance.
I was gonna say, if you weren't, I was listening for the loop points. I like that it's looped. I like that it's what I was kind of thinking. I was like, it would almost sound good to me if it was more, strangely enough, if it was more obvious that it was looped. Like, I would love for it to, because there's a lot of other really interesting production quality, and then that feels very like super natural, right? Where it's like very, very raw background noise, hiss, like self noise, string slide, like you hear everything, and you can kind of tell that it's looped, but barely. It still sounds really, really natural because it's really smooth. I don't know how you want to figure out doing this, or if you want to at all, but I'm kind of curious. I almost wish it sounded more looped. Exactly. It would feel more digitally crushed. It would feel more dun 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 dun. Like, I mean, I'm curious. This is, something you could think about. If at the end you could figure this out, or just ignore it, please. What I imagine. Wait, there's so much reverb on here. Hold on. What I imagine is like at the end of that line, you do a reverse of the guitar as well on the last count or two. So you would have dun 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 dun, and that, yes, exactly. Yes, dude, you're on it. You're fucking on it. Beautiful, beautiful. I love it. Exactly. So do the same movement. Dun, 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 and it's going to tail, and then reverse comes in. Dun, dun, and it's going to go right back into the next chord. That's going to make it more obvious that there's like a shift happening right there. I'm imagining something like that. And I think you could also, if you feel like it, you could also like saturate that piano a little, make it a little crunchy, make it, make it a little bit more saturated, maybe a little bit more distorted. And from there, I think you can open it up a fair amount. But yeah, it would be nice, like if every time there's a little bit of a reverse, or every other time there's a little bit of a reverse or something like that, I think that will give you some of like the texture of it. It just feels a little more interesting, a little bit more alive. And like you said, I think it connects to the rest of the production a little bit better.
Distance. And shame on me for thinking things I said might overflame, and it's just fiction. If you look away, you'll miss it.
So like okay, so here on the vocal, here's something that's interesting. I'm really starting to love this vocal performance. It's feeling like a lot more connected than it has the last couple times that I've heard it. Love it, love it, love it, love it. I would love, again, if we're gonna start kind of getting into morphing this a little bit and trying to get everything feeling really connected and more obviously and intentionally edited and manipulated, which I think would sound good. Like we hear the sample shift, we hear the loop happening, we hear the bit crush on the drums, we hear the processing on the vocals. I want it to feel intentional, like nothing's happening on accident. It would be really nice, maybe on what you have a bunch of different vocal layers in there, take one of them in the far background that cuts in every once in a while and format shift it down. Like just like it'll be one little, it's maybe one of the vocals in the background that just says distance. And that's one little vocal, distance. It's not even a low octave. You don't have to go, it doesn't have to be all crazy and low. It could just be one little vocal in the background that just does distance, and it's way in the background. You barely, like, it doesn't have to be forward, a little bit of chorus on it, something like that. Again, little pops in here that just make it feel like really intentional, really cohesive, but also really manipulated production structure. The loops in the background, the crush of the drums, the way that you introduce the vocals and what's happening with the vocals. Nothing feels too like accidental or too out there, but it feels really intentional and on purpose, everything that you're doing. I think the more that you have that, while it's still feeling loose and creative, the more that you have that, the more that this will feel like a real solid record, Here's what I'm gonna do really quick. I'm going to play you a little bit of that song. You can listen to it on your own time, but I want you to kind of listen to the vocals and some of the processing here. It's a beautiful song. I'm just going to play some of it. I don't really care. I'm going to play some of it because I feel like you'll be able to hear the balance between really edited vocals and like really interesting stuff. And then also like a grand piano in the background that's like unedited. It's interesting. Okay. I'm going to just play a immediately low format shift vocal with a bunch of other layers. It's a whole choir of shifted vocals. Lead vocal, and the lead vocal's clean, but the lead vocal has, because I've watched the engineer produce some of these things. The lead vocal is like clean, but it has a reverb that's format shifted. So the reverb feels like it's an octave below somehow. Like the reverb feels like it's below the vocal. So but it's following the vocal everywhere that it goes. But these are those weird, quirky things that are cool to have in the background right there. Okay. There's those layers. His own vocal sample. So you get all of the free things that you want, right? Of like kind of like interesting, weird things happening. They feel random, but they're also really like tight and followed and really strategic with where they're placed. I love it so much. This is why I thought that this is gonna be a good artist for you to listen to and like watch what they're doing, because they self-produce. He produces all of this, and then gets it engineered by a really great engineer. But yeah, he does. So I was like, man, as soon as I heard your vocals come in, I was like, dude, this would be a great artist for you to listen to. Okay. A little farther. And so what you're gonna hear in a second is what I really want you to listen to, because this is so fun. Here is like, this is like a real cello with a like Steinway grand piano and a bunch of strings and real vocal layers. And then what you're gonna hear in a second is all of these other completely distorted drums come in, and you're gonna hear the vocal sample come back into play as well. So you're gonna start hearing the you're gonna hear all the crazy stuff at the top right there. Hey, thanks for tapping in over on Twitch. I appreciate you being here. You're gonna hear all of these things come back into play. And it's gonna be the hybrid that I want you to focus on in your music, of it not feeling like affected vocal, natural production, and no bridging of it. You're gonna hear that bridge here in a second, and that's what I want you to listen for. Vocal sample. Vocal sample. Sample again. It's like controlled chaos. Low format shift. All the, whatever, you get the idea, right? All of this movement and all of this, this texture in the background. This is a different song. It's slightly different in style than what you're doing, but and then like something entirely, yeah, exactly. There's a lot of familiarity with it at the same time as all of these other interesting elements in the background that are happening. And that's kind of what I want to listen for you. It's like, I hear your guitar doing its thing, but it's so dry, it's so raw that I'm like, let's make that guitar feel like exactly what you want it to feel like, whether that's adding in the reverses, hearing the sample loop happen, hearing the retriggering happen, beefing up the drums a little bit, leaning into those vocal layers and not letting any part of that vocal layering be accidental, but get into one of them and format shift it down, chop this one here, only have the low octave come in on the accent vocal. When you say a couple of those lines, like get in there and really mess around with it. I think you're going to have a lot more fun being more intentional with your music. And at the same time, I feel like it'll also make for a more vibrant production at the same time as well. Hey, I appreciate you tapping in. Yeah, this is our last song. We're about to hop off in like 2 minutes. Everyone else is going to be saved for the next live, which is most likely going to be on Sunday potentially. But I'm closed up for today. This is literally our last like 2 minutes of the live stream here. Let me get a little deeper into this, and then but just make sure y'all are following on Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, where we're live. We'll be live again probably Sunday morning, if anything, and then maybe earlier in the week as well. I try to go live like 3 or 4 days a week at the very least, if I can, to try to get through more of the songs, and hopefully we'll open it up a little bit more for longer, so we'll get through more songs next time as well. I'm excited for you. Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited for you. Let's keep it rolling here.
It was with you in the room, half hungover in the kitchen, saying goddamn.
It's like, goddamn. Having like a low format shift right there to kind of get the undertone right there. Little things like that. Let me get deeper into the song here.
Leave it on the doorstep, leave it that way, so you were all in.
So when you have that high, there's a high melody doing an ad lib. What if that one's an octave higher or a format shift up? So doing some like little high runs up there. So your lead vocal has it stacked, but then there's other vocals that are kind of placed out of it. You know what I mean? It doesn't feel like there's too much of the, because here's what I'm hearing right now. It's a lot of the same kind of vocals doing slightly different things with the same processing. So that's really kind of step on each other's toes a little bit, because your brain's kind of like, wait, which one do I kind of listen to? If it's doing kind of a completely different thing over here and it's filtered and it's a format shift up, just like when we heard a huge choir of vocals in Johan's song, a big choir of vocals, and then the vocal sample way up here and then a low format shift down here, but they live in their own space. They're doing their own thing. That to me is how you're going to get this separation. Yeah, they're all very exactly similar format, similar processing of the chorusing, the flanger and stuff on there, and the doubling and things like that. So if you can start to keep some of those doubles because they're important to the song. I don't want you to change a lot of what you have here necessarily, but keep a lot of that where it is. But then also take some of those background vocals and process them a little bit differently. Make them feel a little bit more intentional. Maybe not always there. Maybe you cut them in a couple different parts. Maybe you format shift it up. Maybe you format shift down this one. Whatever it may be.
You can wipe the slate clean, but you can't erase my hand. Well, to say I loved you, I did.
Like right there, I did. Like that one comes in only on that little part. The rest of the layers keep exactly the same, but I did. Have that like format shifted down. I did. You know what I mean? Like have that one right there shifted and then it's gone. It leaves the mix and you go back to your normal doubles again. Those little just pops of energy with different color, different texture to them are going to make a huge difference in just how engaging the song feels.
Leave it on the doorstep, leave me in a bad way. Told me you were all in, and I'm not your enemy. I could be anything.
Love this. Love all this.
And I'm not your enemy.
I mean, the more I'm hearing this, more it reminds me of Johan. Like, yeah, listen to songs like that. Listen to some really interesting productions like that, because so much of like the feeling of the song, the way that the production ebbs and flows, the dynamics, kind of the swells happening in the background of the production. It's so good. I mean, I really love it. It's super engaging to listen to. It's very interesting, and that to me is huge. There's a lot of boring music out there. This is not boring. It's interesting to listen to. And your vocal texture, I think, is great too. Interesting repetitive melodies. Crushing it, man. Seriously, it's really, really well done. Thank you for the follow, the lovely. I appreciate it.
I could be anything.
Those are beautiful, beautiful melodies. Piano coming in, nasty. I think you could also, in this little section here, I would, Warren, thank you for the follow. I would automate your synth forward as well. It's beautiful. I love it. I don't remember what I've suggested. Of course, yeah, I love dubstep. I love so many different genres of music. I don't remember what I suggested last time, but whatever you did, it sounds great. So I'm glad I did. I would also love in this moment, before you dive off of your dynamics at the end of the song, I would love for you to automate up your synths in the background here, so that they build energy towards the end of the song here. So I start to swell it forward.
If you ask me to dance back, then I deny.
And like cut here, like, you know, maybe like build it up with a bunch of energy, and then, you know, cut going into this last little breakdown here. A little bit of automation will go a long ways.
Now I would run close to turn your head. So stupid, ask why?
Yeah, we are.
Again.
It's our last one. And then let that guitar play out too. I would let that guitar go through another, you know, maybe another measure or another 2 measures of the, you know, the D major here expand, you know, and the D sus. Like maybe a whole nother measure. And then cut, like let the end of the song resolve maybe a little bit easier, so it doesn't feel too like cut and dry. We're like halfway through the first part of the progression. Let it maybe go through that sequence, another measure, maybe even another 2 measures right there. Way it is, but now I got to play around with it. Yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, that's up to you, Romeo. Obviously, I mean, I love to dig into these songs, and I love to really try to find some of the nuances, and so on and so on. But you know, if you are happy with the way that you have things, lock it in and just expand on your next records. There's a constant evolution as an artist, constant evolution as a producer and a composer, where you're always going to be editing and flowing, so on and so on. Yeah, maybe add a few things and then balance it, and then you're ready. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, maybe do some of the editing that we're talking about with the loop and the reverse on the guitar early on and in the outro. Maybe fine tune a couple little details in there, and then you're ready to go. I really, really like the aesthetic of this. So seriously, it's such a good song. I mean, I could see this in a show. I could see this in like a really moody, film festival or something like that. Like, there's a lot of cool things that you're doing in the production that I appreciate a lot. It's very, very engaging to listen to. Man, show some up to the family. Show some love, show some love. Let me get this one closed out here. Thank you for your patience. Romeo, I'm so glad we were able to get to you, man. I didn't know if we were gonna get there tonight. But I'm so grateful that we did, man. Please show some love to Romeo right here in the Not Romeo, right here in the chat, man. I appreciate you more than you know. That is gonna be it for today, y'all. I gotta get out of here pretty quick. I love and appreciate y'all so much. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for the gifts, the follows. Y'all been amazing. I will most likely not be here tomorrow. Just because I just don't think anyone's gonna be online for the most part. Maybe y'all will be. Y'all can let me know if you think you will be. But I most likely won't be live tomorrow. I will probably be live on Sunday if I had to think. Most likely we'll be live on Sunday. So I love and appreciate y'all so much. Thank y'all so much for taking some time out and hanging out with us. Hopefully we'll see y'all very, very, very soon.